let's do it. So this is Andrew Fox Miller. This is the guy that edits all the videos here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk, except for the, occasional one of like 100, seriously, that I edit. And that's the one that looks like a kindergartner did it. Outside of that, all the cool stuff, it's this guy right here.
When is the last one you edited?
Bye week.
It was during the bye week.
Bye week. Anyways, so since we did start up, what was your favorite moment of the 2021 season? Which video edit was it? No, I'm just kidding. What was your favorite moment?
Yeah, so what I was thinking about, we were talking about earlier, I don't know who all has been with us since the last offseason, especially the last summer. We talk about rookie minicamp, training camp. To me, that was wild. Because it was the first time you got to keep in mind, like we were growing so fast, and we were just trying to keep up with everything. And James would be out in the field, literally on the field, getting footage from his iPhone, and he would just throw it in a cloud, and I just have to download everything I could, and he would send me, I don't even know. I mean, sometimes it was like 30, 40 clips.
Yep.
And we'd have to turn around that same day, and just trying to figure that out. I mean, it was so exciting, though, when you think about it from the perspective of looking forward to the season and everything that you had to look forward to with Burrow coming back and all the free agents that we had picked up. Everything was exciting in that regard, but for this channel, it was wild.
Yeah, it was wild. That was an inexact science that we're going to have better this coming training camp already. Like that's the thing, is it was our first time producing a video element regularly. Like I had done stand-ups and stuff, of course, but that's once a practice or once a week recapping camp. What we were doing was different in the volume of it. So that's why we're excited you're here, because we grew quick, and we plan on going full steam ahead. So that part's exciting. It was also the right year to do it, Andrew, because we covered a winner. For the first time in my professional career in Cincinnati and Cleveland, never got to cover a playoff team. I did cover a winning team, I guess. The Indians had a winning record, so I'm going to clarify that, but they didn't make the playoffs, so it doesn't really count, does it? So first time there, we picked a hell of a year to launch Cincinnati Bengals Talk, and that was the moment for me. And it's different, obviously. You're here editing, but and you saw it.
Literally here editing.
You saw it, though, the AFC title video where I'm on the field. And I can admit it now. I was not supposed to be there. It doesn't matter. How am I going to get in trouble? I was not supposed to go on the field at Arrowhead, and I just did it. Because it's like this once in a lifetime thing that hadn't happened in my lifetime. I knew how big of a deal it was. So I just walked out there, and a lot of reporters did, to be fair. So, you can't ground all of us. I'm just the only one dumb enough to talk about it. But those videos that we had, I thought was a lot of fun. And by the way, get your questions in, subscribers. If you haven't yet, well, I promise we're going to get to you and answer a ton of questions.
Yeah, we got a little sneaky. We kind of changed it around. I feel like this is 101 YouTube stuff that we're like, hey, we should just have people that subscribe be able to ask comments.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah, well, that way, like, we don't get, bombed by a Rams fan or a Steelers fan asking silly questions.
Yeah.
So this way we can reach out to the people that are actually watching the channel on a regular basis. Taylor says I walked out with Ben Baby. I did. I walked out with Ben Baby out of Arrowhead? No, I didn't. I was right ahead of him. He had to go back up and get his stuff. But maybe I walked out during the game or right before the game. That might have happened. I believe that might have happened. Anyways, what do we got? Let's dive into a couple questions here before I need a refill, because I'm going to throw a couple back. It's Thursday night happy hour, right?
I know we had a lot of questions earlier, but I'm going to try to keep up with what we have at the moment. A lot of O-line questions, and we can just kind of throw one out there.
Yeah. All right, what do you hope the Bengals offensive line is next year, and what do you believe the Bengals offensive line is next year? Offensive line, or heart versus logic. I hope they're a C plus, B minus. Like, I don't have this crazy hope, and I don't know about you, Andrew. Like, I'm too realistic. Like, I don't think they're going to go out and invest, I don't know, 60, all of their cap space in offensive linemen and veterans. I think they're going to still bank on some of these young guys to at least be serviceable backups. But my expectation, and it's a high expectation because, and you've heard me say this on this channel and on Locked On, and I've written about it, they have a chance to do something they've never done in the history of the franchise. And the reason they didn't do it this past year, the main reason was because of the offensive line. They have cap space. They have the quarterback. They have the weapons. They could have the best offense in the league next year with a B-minus offensive line. So specific guys, like I'm not going to do that because it's going to be wrong, right? Like I mean, I could name Laramie Tunsil, right? Trade for him, and I know some have said, oh well, he's lazy in Houston. Well, Corey Dillon at the end was lazy in Cincinnati, and then what happened? He went to New England and it changed. So I think you can have those type of projects, or guys that have been in bad situations and then end up playing well for you on a contender. That being said, get to B-. And Bradley Bozeman was a guy that was mentioned today. Aaron Wilson reported it, the center from the Ravens. He apparently is a really good pass blocker. I'm not going to pretend like I've watched a lot of him, but he's 6'5", 325, and he wins in the passing game. And I don't really care if he's not great at run blocking. If he can pass block and keep Joe Burrow upright, then I'm good with it. So that's it. Like a competent line that is good enough to keep Burrow upright so I can stop seeing him limp every other game. I mean, there was a couple hits every game, and I don't know if it felt that way on TV, but in person, multiple times. The Packers game, which is the one that I remember the most, but he got hurt at the end of Kansas City game, the first one. And so we know what the Titans game was like. So avoid that, where it's not just this catastrophe. If they can do that, and that means spending and investing on the interior of the offensive line, I think that's what they need to do. What about you? What's your expectation? You've been a Bengals fan much longer than most people, probably in this chat right now. You're old. So.
I'm the only one in this room that's going to admit who he's a fan of, so let's go there. No, don't make comments about that. I always have to clear them out. The O-line, I agree with you in the sense that obviously above average, slightly above average is a huge leap for what we need to achieve with someone that's extremely above average in Joe Burrow. But with that said, you talk about expectations, and I can't help but as somebody that's grown up as a fan of the team, I don't know about you all, but you sit there and you think, okay, well, my expectation, this seems like if I drew it up, it'd be pretty simple. And it never does go that way, for better or worse. And at least with the history of the Bengals, I mean, look at last offseason. Everybody questioned it. How many times did reporters even bring it up?
Yeah.
We called it out. We addressed it. And it never really got, it was always, hey, we're fine. It was a lot of, we got the team cover, coach speak, whatever. We believe in our guys. What are you going to say? But this offseason, I don't know. How many times did expectations get surpassed in the last several months? So I'm trying to be optimistic that maybe we'll see a bit of a shift in that realm.
Yeah, and that means, to me, spending on the interior. Because they could have had Kevin Zeitler last year. Guy they knew, former first-rounder from the Bengals. They didn't want to pay him in 2016. I get that. You make him the highest-paid guard in the league. Okay, fine. You didn't want to do that. Now you have a chance to get him back. And he would have been a great fit, and they didn't do it. They tried, but not really, because the offer wasn't even close to what the Ravens gave him. And so that part of it, that has to change this offseason. Whoever they get. To me, you need an interior line that is much, much better. And that could mean Trey Hopkins at center, right? It doesn't mean you have to clear house. Trey Hopkins at center with 2 above-average starting guards, and you feel really damn good about the interior of the line, in my opinion. You could bring back Riley Reif, have Jonah Williams on the left side, and then add a competent swing tackle and 2 guards, and I think you feel all right about it. Or you could go the center route and maybe move on from Hopkins. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to be loyal because he really worked his tail off to get back for them and play. He played better towards the end of the year, so I don't think they're just going to cut him. But there's a path here for the Bengals to get better in the offensive line room because they've hit the nail on the head on defense, because they've they were able to get Jamar Chase and answer their weapons. You don't really, outside of tight end, there isn't really another question on offense. On defense, there's a pass rusher, probably a cornerback. And then after that, it's depth, as long as you get the offensive line right. And it can't just be the starting 5. Because as we saw, Riley Reif gets dinged up, Xavier Su'a-Filo gets dinged up, and boom, Jackson Carman isn't what you expected, and the whole right side of your offensive line stinks, essentially, for the entire playoff run and hamstrings your offense.
I know there's a lot of offensive line questions going on out there, but we can talk particulars and dream scenarios and perfect, front 5 and everything like that. But I do want to send a couple questions about backup quarterback.
Okay. Yeah. I think they're comfortable with Brandon Allen. At the same time, and I like this question, it's a quarterback's game, right? Quarterback, it matters. And this is a bad quarterback class, but that could mean value. That could mean someone... like draft class, that could mean someone that they don't anticipate being there on day 3, being there on day 3. And so that part is exciting for me, because if one of these guys that they have a second-round grade on, let's say, and again, it could happen because of the lack of top high-end quarterback talent where they have a second-round grade on a guy and he's there in the 4th or 5th round. And then it's like, or maybe it's a third-round grade and he's there in the 4th or 5th round. So I think that could be the path to answer your question. If they're going to address the backup spot, maybe bring in a young guy on a rookie contract. If not, I think it's probably Brandon Allen. I think they're comfortable with Brandon Allen. They like what he brings. They like his relationship with Burrow. And I think that's fine, but I would not be shocked at all if the Bengals draft a quarterback this April.
Throwing in a little commentary on what I had said
for
about
the 90s.
expectations.
Dude, the 90s were... And honestly, that's the crazy part, is even with the Cards and Palmer era, Mike Brown could never survive. It never threw away the perception of the 90s or got past that perception nationally and locally. That's still the case today. Like, even after the Super Bowl run, it's like, is he really going to spend? Does he really care about winning? He runs it like a business. If they do the right things this offseason and they build this perennial contender, this team that, in my opinion, if they do it right, could dominate the AFC North for the foreseeable future, which has never been the case ever as far as the division goes. They've won back-to-back division titles just once in franchise history. Then I think people are going to forget about the 90s, right? And even someone like me, who's a 90s kid, Cincinnati native, certainly remember it. You forget about it because of the success they have. So that was the lost decade of the 90s. This could be the decade that everyone remembers about the Bengals if they do it right.
Some people talking about, I'm just throwing up the most recent one. I know a lot of people brought it up. Someone else probably originated the topic. Sorry about that. I'm trying to sift through here and actually be on camera for once. But Eli Apple's come up a number of times here. There's a debate, should they keep him, shouldn't they? But really, ultimately, like, what do we think of the odds of them keeping Eli Apple?
Well, what do you think?
You asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you. What? Why not? He edits all the videos. He hears me all the time like you do. Let's hear Andrew a little bit. What do you think about Eli Apple?
Do they need him? I don't think they need him.
Okay.
I think they have the ability to make enough moves, and then based off their current roster, would I like him? Yeah, I think he's an the thing with Eli Apple for me is I feel like he's an excellent depth piece, and I don't think Eli Apple wants to be a depth piece after this season. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's me laughing at Eli for saying he's not a depth piece.
I'm telling you what I think Eli Apple thinks.
No, I'm not laughing at you.
I know. I feel like now I'm Eli Apple's surrogate.
You know who else is laughing? The entire NFL. Because you cannot be. The worst thing to be in life, I think, is needy when you're not great at what you do. Aaron Rodgers can get away with it, even though he's the most annoying professional athlete right now.
Don't bring him up right now.
He's the worst.
All fired up.
He's the worst. All right, Aaron Rodgers is the worst, but he's great at what he does. And so if you're Eli Apple and you're like a C- as a player, and he played better this year, but it wasn't great. I mean, there's a reason the Rams are like, hey, we're gonna throw to Eli aside, and he played better. Okay, I get it. You can't be on Twitter talking trash to all these guys. Hey, Tyreek and McCall Hartman, haha. Like, that's why he got trolled by the entire league. He was talking trash about everything. You can do that if you're Chad Johnson, because you're great. When you're Eli Apple, you just kind of keep your head down and grind. And then suddenly you look up and you've had a 10-year NFL career. Because I do think he's an NFL player. And I think the Bengals would like him back on two conditions. One, is he willing to sign for a couple $1 million and be their fourth corner on paper? Their backup outside corner for whoever else they sign/draft. Probably sign, though, after they cut Trae Waynes to be a starter alongside Mike Hilton and Chidobe Awuzie. So, to me, yeah, they're willing to sign him for the right money, and then two, it's going to be the tweets thing. I would politely be like, hey, and not even politely. Honestly, I would be like, dude, you're Eli Apple. Cut it out. If you want to be here, cut it out. That's not our culture. Like, if Jamar Chase went to Twitter, it's one thing, and he wouldn't. I don't think he's like that. But Eli Apple going to Twitter, like, what are we doing? Like, and so that's the part of it that I think is going to hurt him, not just with the Bengals, with any team that is looking at him and signing him, because that's a distraction and an unnecessary distraction from a C player, an average player.
I'm going to take a quick pause. I have a question. I know we've only got currently we got like 120 people here, but of anyone here, I'd throw a poll out there. I'm not going to do that at the moment, but if you would leave a comment. So we've been discussing this when we first started the idea of doing live stream for this channel. Mm-hmm. we had kind of floated the idea, or we'd seen comments at least of people saying, "Oh, you should do super chats. You should do, And James didn't really know much about it. He's like, "Andrew, you think we should do this?" Without even, my instinct was no. I don't want to do that. I don't want to have people pay to make a comment. It just doesn't feel right to me. But over time, as we see a flood of comments come in, I'm like, well, do some people appreciate the fact that they can get in the front of the line? If there's another way around doing that, let me know. But throw some feedback out there. I'll read the comments as we continue on.
Gotcha. Yeah. And by the way, all cornerbacks lose. Notice I didn't say anything, to your point, One Nation Underground. I didn't say anything about Cooper Kupp kicking his ass on one of the final plays in the Super Bowl. I get that. Mike Hilton got beat by Odell Beckham Jr., and it was great coverage, right? Like, Jalen Ramsey probably guarded Chase pretty well, and Chase just won at times and really had his way with Ramsey. But my point is yeah, cornerbacks lose. That's not my problem with Eli Apple. It's, what's the money going to be? Is he going to continue to be a distraction? Because they just don't need that. Like, if Eli Apple comes back next year and they beat whoever the hell they beat week 1 and he has a pick 6 and he tweets at the receivers and stuff, at some point, now that's going to become a question that Joe Burrow gets asked. And it's going to become a question that Zac Taylor gets asked. I'm telling you, I'll probably be the one asking, or someone in the local media. And so, do you want that distraction for a backup cornerback? I don't think he should be the starter. I don't think anyone's saying that they should sign him to be the starter alongside Cheeto. And so that's the part where it's like, So I'm down for him coming back, and I think he's a fine person. You just, don't press send. Leave it in the drafts. Once in a while, leave it in the drafts.
Go off this here.
All right. Opinions on... All right, Yash. Would like your opinions on Carman and Ossai, and if they could have a breakthrough season. Ossai, yeah. Would you consider a channel membership so we could support you?
I didn't catch the back end of that, yeah.
That's, maybe. We'll talk about that, Yash, and I appreciate you, man. And hopefully I'm saying your name right. I'm not trying to get it wrong. No, Joseph Ossai, here's the crazy part. So I like that you asked them together. Because to me, Jackson Carman was a reach at 46, and we're seeing why, and we saw why as a rookie. But Joseph Ossai was like a borderline first rounder to me. So the fact that he fell to the 3rd round, like if you had flip-flopped them, it would have been like, oh yeah, Joseph Ossai at 46, Jackson Carman in the 3rd round. So I'll start with Ossai. I'm optimistic about him. I think he can be a really good pass rusher. He's athletic. I think he's good against the run, and he cares, and he works really hard, and he doesn't take it for granted. So yeah, I think he can be a big part of the pass rush. That being said, I still think they need to get one more, so you're not banking on what is essentially a rookie to have an impact as a pass rusher.
Yeah, I was going to say, does this seem like, I feel like the fan base is kind of banking on him a lot, which well-deserved based off what we saw. But at the same time, you would think, ideally, the smart thing and the luxury would be to operate as if he's not going to be coming on this year.
That's exactly right. That's exactly, yeah.
You hit that.
Whatever you pick, I'm taking. So, little 5 brothers. Anyways, yeah, we're doing shout-outs for Bourbon now. It's okay. Here, pour me a little bit.
Yeah, they don't need our help.
Anyways, they do not. Yeah, as far as Ossai goes, like Andrew said, act like he's not coming back and get a veteran on a 1 to 2 year deal that can give you something, right? Because then you have Hendrickson, Hubbard, because they had health. Right? They were healthy. Imagine if they didn't have Hubbard and they didn't have Hendrickson for stretches. And I know Hendrickson played through some stuff, but that's why you want to get another edge rusher. And then you hope Cam Sample, along with Ossai, they continue to develop and make an impact. And that doesn't include the interior. As far as Jackson Carman, here's the thing. This is a bigger concern to me than, Eli Apple's tweets. I've been critical of Eli Apple because it's very simple. You just don't press send. With Jackson Carman, and I hate this. This is probably my biggest pet peeve ever, is when a professional athlete whose job is to work out, be in shape, know his job, all of those things, and he showed up to camp and he was not in shape, always felt behind all year long. I need him to wow me this offseason. I hope he comes into OTAs and you're like, oh, man, that's Jackson Carman. Like, reshape this body. I hope to hear Dave Lapham say, man, that 79 looks good. Like, that's what I need to see. Because this organization took a chance on the local kid. And I don't think that's why they picked him, by the way. I know a lot of people have said that. But there are certain pressures that come with playing at home in front of your hometown fans and friends and having those distractions. You have to balance that and be mature enough to get the work done. And I need to see him get the work done. And hopefully he does it this offseason because I do think he has talent. I also think that there's a pattern of immaturity and lack of work ethic and all of those things that if you talk to really anyone that has been close with him, scouted him, all those things. And that's the part where it's like, man, Bengals. That's why I don't trust them in the draft to fix this offensive line through the draft, right? Most draft analysts had Creed Humphrey, for example, ahead of Jackson Carman on their boards. And, if they had drafted Creed Humphrey, we're talking about home run, fifth overall with Chase and then Humphrey at 46 with the trade down. That didn't happen. And so when you have that, you have the Billy Price, you have Cedric Ogbuehi, you have Jake Fisher, you have all of these picks that haven't gone their way. It's time to throw money at the problem and fix it that way. So we'll see if they can do that. But yeah, there's still hope for Carman. I'm not like burying him, but I need to see the work ethic this offseason. Hopefully it shows up.
I'm not going to flash up the question. I'm going to stop the chat for a second.
Yeah.
A couple comments on the drinks this evening, and
oh yeah, what we got?
What we got? Yeah, Bland's. Everybody's asking. No, it's this is Five Brothers. James got this when he's on the Bourbon Trail from Heaven Hill Distillery.
Yep.
So,
yeah. We do have Blanton's. We have not busted out the Blanton's yet.
We remember how many times we said we were going to bust that. So we said we were going to bust out Blanton's when we hit 10,000 subscribers.
Yep.
And we didn't do that. Instead,
we did another video that night, and that was. And then it was just on. The rhythm was on. Yeah. I mean, we both have Blanton's at our houses. Yeah. And I haven't even opened mine yet, to be honest with you, because I've been waiting for that occasion. I've had Blanton's before.
Did you bring it down here?
But no, I didn't bring it.
Okay. I have some.
I knew Andrew had Blanton's, so I was like, I'm not bringing my bottle. Why would I bring my?
Right,
Plus, I knew he hadn't had this. I mean, most of you probably haven't even heard of Five Brothers. No, I'm not talking about the movie with Mark Wahlberg. That's Four Brothers, and that was a good movie. Hopefully, they come out with the second one. I heard rumors, so maybe they will.
You're right. That was a good movie. I just don't know why you said it. It's just
Four Brothers, Five Brothers, 8 brothers.
But yeah, I mean, we talked about that, and even at the end of the season, we were like, hey, when this season's over, but we had no idea, obviously, that there was going to be a Super Bowl. We thought we were going to be done, at some point, and much sooner than we were.
That's the other thing is like, every NFL season's a marathon. This was like a triathlon because you get to the end, and playoffs are happening, but you just don't know. And suddenly it's like, all right, they won. I got to book my travel to Tennessee and figure that out. They won. Got to figure out a way to get to Arrowhead. Drove, by the way, 8 hours. Because why would you? There's no. All right, it's first world problems. There's no direct flights from Cincinnati to Kansas City. And there's no direct flights. There weren't any from like Indy to Kansas City or Columbus to Kansas City. So just drove because it's literally the same time. And you... Yeah, it's just more efficient. So, anyways, most ridiculous thing, and then obviously the Los Angeles, Super Bowl. I was there for 10 days, which was a lot of fun. So I don't know. I mean, you were exhausted editing the videos, but the traveling's no joke. And with COVID last year, this was the first year I had traveled with the Bengals for all but I think 3 games, all of the postseason games, and that. Obviously, that was a big part of the channel.
Yeah, it was really fun sitting in this room as you would I got a video for you. There's just like palm trees in the background. Like travel's so rough.
Well, it is when you're drinking at night, working during the day. I mean, that's what it was for Super Bowl for me. I'll admit it. This is why you're here on the live, right? You want transparency. My best friend lives in Los Angeles, and so it was Radio Row all week, and at night we would hang out. And it doesn't mean we went like clubs, and I'm too old for clubs, but we would hang out and we don't see each other a lot. So yeah, we drank, had fun, and even after the Super Bowl, it was early in Los Angeles, so I got all my work done. It's like 1 or 2 a.m. in Eastern time, but it's like 10:30, 11. So I went out. So it was it was cool. It was wild though, and there were a lot of Bengals fans in Los Angeles. That's the thing. Bengals fans are the best because there was way more Bengals fans than Rams fans at that game, no doubt.
Jack Katz, listen here. We got to talk about this for a second, Jack Katz. I've had contacts in my eyes for like 12 hours now. I'm on 1.5 bourbons. These are just dry eyes, my man. They're just dry eyes. We're all right.
Andrew can't hang. Don't listen to him. Andrew can't hang.
You see this basement? This is where I spend a lot of my time doing this editing your videos.
Man, that's funny. I already got the buzz look.
We had a couple. There's been a number of times people asked about the favorite moment of the season. I was kind of talking about favorite moment of the channel being training camp, but favorite moment of the season.
Again, I think it was the AFC title game. Like, literally, I didn't think I would be able to get on the field. I did. I tried it with the Super Bowl, by the way, after the game. It did not work. They're legit at the Super Bowl. They're like, hey, let me see your credential. Nope. So I would have had to wait like 3 more hours. That didn't happen. Anyways, the AFC title game, you walk out. CBS is doing the trophy presentation. I walked down. I think I walked down with Eli Apple, and he was on his phone. And so, oddly enough, he was probably tweeting. Tyreek Hill. No, I'm just kidding. But he was on his phone. I think he was videotaping. And they all were because it was so surreal. And they were down 21-3. And
he was videotaping like I got receipts.
and they make their comeback and then win the game and at Arrowhead, which is such a crazy environment. I mean, it was so loud. There were so many Chiefs fans. The tailgate, it was insane at Arrowhead. Like, it would have been so much fun to tailgate. Obviously, it was a work day. I couldn't do that. But, yeah, to walk down and you see Mike Brown and you see Joe Mixon embrace the crowd. One of my favorite parts of it was I was walking and Jimmy Chase, Jamar's dad, was like, James. And I didn't know who the hell was calling me. I mean, everything, it's mayhem, right? People are running around. You got Jesse Bates high-fiving fans. It's crazy. And you see this big stogie. He's got a cigar. Smoke him if you got him. And it was just, it was a really, really cool moment. So, I mean, that's it for me. Just because of, I knew how big of a moment that was for the city. Right? So, like, I walk into Andrew's house. I've been to Andrew's house 100 times, just to give you an idea.
To cry. 100
times. No. I walk into Andrew's house, and both of his kids have drawn Bengal stuff, right? And they've colored it in. And how old are your kids? 7 and
5.
7 and 5. So, like, it hits the entire city. Meanwhile, when I was 7, Jeff Blake was throwing interceptions targeting Darnay Scott and Carl Pickens, and they were finishing with 4 wins in 98. You know what I mean? So, that part of it, the impact, like, I knew it was going to have a huge impact, and Bengal Mania took over. And that's why I'm so, like, direct with what I want this organization to do, because I want them to deliver for everybody, not just the city, but every Bengals fan out there, because I know how much it bleep it matters, right? And can I cuss on live streams? I wasn't sure. So anyways, what was your, answer your Josh's question. What was your favorite question? What was your favorite moment of the season?
I got to go with the low-hanging fruit here. It's got to be the first playoff win. You don't have.
I thought you might. Yeah.
Just sitting, watching so many plays. So when the Bengals were in the Super Bowl last, I was like 6.
Do you remember that?
I remember watching it over and over, like on a VHS tape that had been recorded on. I don't remember seeing it live.
Gotcha. God, you watch that over and over? Oh.
Yeah.
I get it, though. Like, I get it. You want to watch? Yeah, but. Whew.
Like, it was like my friends of the family and stuff that would play it and things like that. You just watch it. But, yeah, so imagine, like, that, and then how many years do you just sit there and watch over and over and over? So that first one was just so cathartic. Obviously Super Bowl. Winning the AFC Championship, sure. But I don't know if there was ever quite that same feeling as that first playoff win. Like, it just was like a weight lifted. Like, I'm sure, like, the whole city, the players, all of that. So
yeah, let me ask you this, and then I'm going to tell a cool Zac Taylor story.
Yeah.
From it was right after the Raiders game. Mm-hmm. As far as that experience, were you worried? I was never worried during that entire Raiders game. Like, I never wrote the story. Just to give you an idea what I mean by worried.
Yeah.
I write so for the Packers game week 5, I had about 7 different game stories written. Okay? For the Raiders game, I only had the one, and it was always Bengals win. Even though the Raiders were 10 yards, 11 yards from tying the game. Were you ever concerned, worried?
Of course.
Okay.
But I live off of anxiety. That's just how it works with me. Like, I don't need to. I mean, I'll be worried in any scenario. They'll be up 40 and I'm worried.
Gotcha. Okay. So that's the first thing. Second thing, we know about the game balls with Zac Taylor. I was listening to Dave Lapham's podcast, In the Trenches, and Zac Taylor was on, and it was great. But a cool thing, and I wanted to write about it, haven't written about it, wanted to do a video about it, might as well do it now. They win. They go to Mount Lookout Tavern, and he passes out the ball and does a little presentation. Meanwhile, while they're driving to Mount Lookout, it's Zac Taylor, it's his friend or a couple friends, and they have a bunch of kids in the car. This is after the first playoff win in 31 years. All right, it's Zac's kids and some other kids in their neighborhood. And so Zach's like, I'm going to go in here and drop off this ball. And so drop off the rest of the kids that are in the car, drop them off at their houses. So one, that's like dad levels, right? That's what everybody can relate to. Two, Zach gets done with the presentation, right? Where he's given the ball and then he's getting out of there. He's not hanging out doing Jaeger bombs, right? He's getting out of there. And he has to stand by the church. I forget the name of the church that's right by MLT's. It's right down. So Mount Lookout Tavern, you go right down the hill. There's a church right there. Or no, it's up the hill. It's up the hill. Excuse me. It's right up the hill.
Important distinction.
Church right there. No, but I've driven by it a ton of times. I've been there. Yeah. My cousin got married there and then had the reception right down the street. Anyways, it's like 11:30 at night, maybe midnight, something in that range. I forget what time the game was and everything. On a Saturday, Zac Taylor is standing by the church, probably in Bengals gear, I would imagine, right? Just by himself, waiting on his friend to get back from dropping off the kids and just standing there. Like, could you imagine if you left MLTs, you're walking up and you're like, oh, that's Zac Taylor just standing there? He said it was like a 10-minute thing, even if it was 5 minutes. Oh. I don't know. That's an hilarious story to me. That's pretty funny.
That is really bizarre. Yeah. That's so cool, though.
No, and that's the fun part about this team, too. Yeah. And I've been critical of Zach, and I don't run from that. But he is likable. And so, you want him to succeed, right? Because he's a good guy. You've never heard anything bad about him. He's got a great personality. Seems like a great dude. And so it's like, all right, well, it was good to see him have success. And after 6-25-1, it's nearly impossible to turn things around in the NFL historically. From that coach doing it, he's on the verge of doing it. And if they have another successful offseason, I think they can.
I've seen. I'll pull one up just because a lot of comments, questions about Gronk. We didn't really.
There's a Chiefs fan talking trash.
I'm going to work on that.
Oh my God!
I see,
why?
I see him through my buzzed eyes. No, I'll take care of that. The Gronk is coming up a number of times. We didn't really do any sort of video or address that, so I guess it's fair to do that quickly here.
Go get him. You know why you go get him? The Super Bowl, Patriots-Rams, end of the 2018 season? Yeah, 2018 season, February 2019. Was it Super Bowl 53? It would be? I think it was Super Bowl 53. Either way, probably Super Bowl 53. Gronk made the biggest play in the game. The diving, sprawling catch that sets up the touchdown. They win 13-3. And so if he wants to play and wants to come for a reasonable amount, you go get him because he's going to make a play or two in the red zone. That's all the difference. The Bengals were awful in the red zone in the playoffs. You need as many weapons as possible. Adding a guy like that, and that doesn't mean not keeping Uzomah, by the way. You do both. They would be the best friends. Can you imagine the content? CJ Uzomah and Rob Gronkowski? Oh, my goodness. It would be the best thing ever. We would try to get them on the channel every day. Not once a week. Every day. CJ and Gronk. Maybe we'll get that sponsored. We'll do the super chat thing. And
I would rename the entire channel the CJ and Gronk Talk.
That's right. Yeah, you guys probably wouldn't care about my stand-ups anymore. But the point is, I think Gronk could still add something, but you can't count on him for 17 games. It would be merely a red zone playoff Gronk that's going to make a difference. Get you 600-700 yards. 6-7 touchdowns, be a big part of the offense when he's out there. But, if you could do it, if you could do like a 1-year deal and maybe you get CJ to 2-year deal, I'm not against that. Who wears number 87? That would be the tough part. Maybe they split it. What do you think? You want Gronk?
Do I want Gronk? Yeah, it'd be great. I'm more curious to see.
He can still ball. I mean, he was good this year when he was healthy. He was really good. I'm
curious to see what they're going to do with Uzomah. Because remember this time, not this time last year. Think about even 6 months ago, it was, what are they going to bring him back for? How's that going to work? And I still am just as confused now, but for different reasons.
Yeah. I think they're going to bring him back, but it's tough because the tight end free agent market's flooded. So it depends on what he's asking for and what he wants. And he's going to want to be compensated. He's a big part of the team, made big plays when they needed him, the Jacksonville game, right? I mean, and that's the thing. If you have Uzomah and Gronk, I think together you have an elite tight end room. But separate, they're good, but it's not enough. Together, it would be it would be awesome. So, yeah, I think they try to keep Uzomah. I would say 2 years, $14 million, with incentives or something like that. And hopefully you can get him, maybe you get him a little less. Maybe he tries to test the market. I would not be shocked at all if he's like, you know what, I'm going to test the market. But it is a flooded free agent tight end market. I mean, you have David Njoku, Gerald Everett, O.J. Howard. I mean, you have a lot of guys that have talent, that are athletic, and Uzomah has kind of etched himself in here. As far as the Gronk thing, I don't think it's nearly as realistic as C.J. Uzomah. But if Gronk wants to play with Burrow, I bet Burrow would want to, team up with Gronk. I don't think he would be against that at all.
I'm only putting this up here because I'm not one to call out and demand engagement, but 42. What is that for real?
Is it?
Come on now.
It's up to 44 based on what I've seen. 40.
Do we need to get does James need to walk away for a minute?
That's a fullback number. Just saying. I was thinking for Ocho number.
Let's see. We talked about Ossai already. More Gronkowski, yeah.
What?
I'm tempted.
No, what? Do it.
All right, let's do it.
What?
I'm not sure Gronk is capable of being
a disciplined player. I mean, what does that mean? Gronk's really smart. That's the thing. He acts like he's a bozo, and he's fun and he's got a personality, but he's really smart and he's football smart. And that's the thing is Jamar Chase versus AJ Green, right? In this offense, I think there's a difference, and it was very clear how versatile Chase was and how football smart he was because they could move him around. Versus AJ Green, it was kind of it's just not working, right? It's not working the way they were hoping it would. And part of that's physical tools, but I think part of that was the mental aspect. I think Gronk mentally is up there. And so instantly he would buy into Burrow and vice versa. And would they have to build a rapport and all that stuff? Absolutely. But I don't think Gronk is going to, go too wild. I think that's his personality, in front of the cameras. But I don't think this dude is doing shots the night before a game or something. This isn't like Rob Gronkowski, a.k.a. Johnny Manziel. No, it's arguably the best tight end of all time, and he handles his business when it's time to handle his business. Yeah, hit the like button.
Yeah.
Where else can you cheers with a little bourbon?
I don't know. I know you're gonna hesitate on this one as far as record, but what do you think overall the schedule? I think that's a fair question.
It's tougher, and that's the part where it's they can't just run it back. They have to be better. The overall talent on the offensive line, it cannot be a huge hole anymore. They need to find a fourth receiver, and believe it or not, I think they do. Obviously, tight end is something they need to do, and then on the other side, pass rusher, cornerback, you need to figure out those holes because they have a chance, again, to be great. I mean, they could win 12, 13 games. But if they just kind of go with the flow and add, the Riley Reef of guards, and maybe you re-sign Riley Reef, and then you roll with all these young guys, and you have your draft picks, and you keep Eli Apple, but maybe you're banking on a rookie corner, and you just kind of run it back that way, then you could also win 8 games or 7 games and just not be good enough because the Ravens are going to be healthier. The Browns are going to be healthier. All of these teams that dealt with injuries are going to be healthier. The Steelers, well, they have a Mason Rudolph problem. But outside of that, you're going to have to upgrade the roster so you can compete, and not just compete, but beat these teams like you did this past year where they were dinged up. And I'm not making an excuse because the Bengals beat them and they were better. But when you're at the top, it's hard to stay at the top, and that's something that the Bengals, I think they realize, and I think they're going to upgrade their roster.
I don't want to draw this up again, but I do feel like we – I don't know if you ever saw that other angle.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Probably not. No, probably not. It was a hell of a throw by Burrow. If you see all the angles in slow motion in the photos, the fact that he's able to even get the ball out, and in person, I was shocked he even threw the ball. Because it was once Donald had him, it was just spinning him, and somehow Burrow had the wherewithal to throw it in the right direction. No, I don't. I don't think he would have caught it. I don't think Mixon would have caught it either. I also hate that it came down to that. And I know this is bringing up pain, and we're going to move on really quickly here. But you get the 9 yards on first down. It's 2nd and 1. They basically, instead of calling a timeout, they threw away that 2nd down, which I hated, looking back. Hated that they threw away that 2nd down. 3rd down, you're running it just trying to get the 1st down. And then fourth down, man, if you just hold the block for another half second, right? And so that's the difference. And that's why they have to invest on the interior, because all of these interior pass rushers, man, it was like a gauntlet, right? It wasn't scary. I was thinking about potential Super Bowl matchups. Facing Nick Bosa wasn't nearly as scary because I was like, oh, well, yeah, Burrow will see it from the edge and he'll be able to move. Pressure up the middle, man, it's tough. It's tough on a quarterback to deal with that. And so that's why they have to fix it. They have to fix it this offseason. That doesn't mean Aaron Donald wouldn't have torched whoever they would have out there. It's Aaron Donald. At the same time, it can't be as bad as it was. And it certainly can't be that bad when you face Jeffrey Simmons, who you're going to face. You're going to face, Clark from the Chiefs. You're going to face these guys that are really, really good, and you have to be able to hold up against them. And they couldn't. And Burrow bailed him out enough, but he couldn't do it in the Super Bowl as much as they needed him to, because he certainly played well at times.
Jason, I see your comment there, Woodford. Good choice, of course. I'm also throwing this up to call out the fact that emojis, emoticons, any of it, like it isn't working on this the comments right now that are flashing up on the screen. So if you see something that looks a little wonky, that's why. But hey, maybe if we do the super chats, we could pay for something that'll take into instead of using open source.
Andrew's words, not mine.
Yeah, my words, 100%. Let's see who we have here. Let's see. Okay. All right. Look, Todd Black, I don't even want to. Can you got a question for us, or do you just want to just get everyone all riled up? Come on, man. We're all here to have a good time. He's just having a conversation talking about Chiefs. I don't know what's going on over there with Todd, but
No,
appreciate you subscribing.
We can tie in the Chiefs to this. Like what the Chiefs did with their offensive line, the Bengals need to softly do, right? So the Bengals don't have these aging offensive linemen that they need to move off of. But what the Chiefs did, they hit on 2 offensive linemen in the draft, and then in free agency they got aggressive and via trade. And that's what the Bengals need to do. They can't not draft offensive linemen because you need young guys in the pipeline that are promising that you can develop. And maybe they surprise you and end up starting, right? At the same time, you have to sign proven guys. And, if they do that, I think this offense can be better than the Chiefs' offense, depending on what the Chiefs do, of course. If they go out and sign, I don't know, a top receiver. If they find a way to get Allen Robinson, well, then that's tough. And that's the difference, by the way. The Chiefs drafting Joe Burrow's best friend, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, really hurt them because T. Higgins was on the board. If they had drafted T. Higgins, the Bengals can't play the defense that they played against the Chiefs in the AFC title game. And I know there's been this Juju Smith-Schuster speculation. I don't think that's going to matter. I think you need to get a better receiver than that, and we'll see if they do. That's what the Chiefs need. The Chiefs need what the Bengals don't need. The Bengals went out and got that playmaker in Jamar Chase, and so now they need to fix the offensive line. So they kind of went in reverse order.
I know, everyone. I shouldn't have given him attention. It was just, I just going a little odd here with
Jackson
that one.
Mahomes.
I just, sometimes it is one of those things where when James is doing a live stream, he's just rolling, and I'm in an earpiece and I'm telling him, hey, let's address this question, let's address that question. There are times where I'm thinking things. I see the comments on the videos we do. I'm the one that's usually having to sift through a lot of it, and I had a moment. Okay, yeah. We're back. I'm gonna give the questions and comments that deserve it.
I tied it all into the Bengals, by the way, so it's not like I gave him a ton of attention.
Let's see here.
By the way, Austin Corbett. I want to talk about Austin Corbett because a lot of people are talking about him. It's kind of wild. I covered him in Cleveland. He was a bust in Cleveland, second-round bust. They traded him to the Rams, I think, for a fifth-round pick, and he's been better. And so there's 2 lessons there. The first lesson is, well, maybe the Browns don't always know what they're doing. It's a former regime and stuff. They got really they panicked a little bit, I guess. And they also had good guards that they were building around. That being said, the second part is sometimes it takes these guys time to develop. That's why I want to try to be patient with some of these young guys that the Bengals have drafted. And that's why they can't bank this year. Because everything's win now. Quarterbacks win now. Wide receivers and weapons are win now. Defense is pretty much win now. You can't bank on these rookies because sometimes it takes 2 to 3 years. And then suddenly Austin Corbett looks up and he's a second-round bust in Cleveland, and now he's going to get paid and sign a 4-year deal and play 12 years in the NFL and, be this potentially game-changing guard for the Bengals or another team. And so that's the part of it. And I'm not saying he wouldn't be a game changer. I'm just saying, like, it's crazy how different it was a couple of years ago versus now in the talk around him. So, we'll see. It's certainly, he's one of the many options that the Bengals need to be looking into because there are a lot out there, and they need to get proven guys to block for Joe Burrow.
Let's put a question out for everyone while I deal with something at the moment.
Okay. Let's put a question. You got a question?
No, I'm telling you. Or hang on a second.
What? Everything good?
Yeah. I got some.
Oh.
I gotta be. And I'm in assassin mode over here. I hear you guys. I got it taken care of. Okay?
Gotcha. Man, he must have been doing something crazy. Yeah. Agree to sign 3 to 4 veterans looking for a new contract and a place to play. And that's the other thing. So I'm 30. Breaking news, right? Do I look it? Probably look 25, huh? Yeah. It's the Built Bars. The fact that this team is where it is, for the first time in my life, it's going to be cool to play for the Bengals. Like, they're a destination. And that's another part and another reason why they have to take advantage of it. Like, Mike Hilton is a Steeler. He comes to Cincinnati for 1 year, and he's confident enough in the locker room, in the culture, in everything that they've built to be like, hey, man, come play for us. Come to Cincinnati. Hey, Laramie Tunsil, hit me up. We want to trade for you. And they might not even want to trade for Laramie Tunsil. But the fact that Hilton is that confident after 1 year shows it, right? Shows his confidence in Burrow. Shows his confidence in Lou Anarumo and Zac Taylor and the culture and everything like that. Because the last thing he wants is to tell a fellow player, come here, and then them have a miserable experience. And obviously you have the Joe Burrow factor as well. The other part of this that is huge, I think, look at all the free agents that have come to Cincinnati the past 2 years and had success. The only one that hasn't is Trae Waynes. Part of it was injury. Part of it was I don't think he fully embraced the team in Cincinnati and the organization, and I don't know if he actually wanted to be here. But that's me speculating, not reporting it. Who knows? But a lot of it had to do with injury. Outside of that, DJ Reader, Trey Hendrickson, Chidobe Awuzie, Mike Hilton. Oh, you could go down. All these guys, they've nailed it. And so if I'm a free agent, I'm like, oh, well, I'm an offensive lineman trying to block for Joe Burrow, and they've hit on all these free agents, and they've had success. Or I'm a cornerback, and yeah, they have a hole here, but Cheeto had success. Mike Hilton had success. So that's the part of it. I think that this Bengals team, it's cool to play for the Bengals for the first time in a while. They have awesome uniforms. They have this great quarterback who can wear JB9 chains, and now Nike's making a shirt out of it, right? And everybody in this chat's probably going to buy that shirt. Too bad, we couldn't get in on that, right? But you know what I mean? Like, that's the factor, and that's why it's realistic to expect them, not hope, expect them to really address their weaknesses in free agency and be a much better roster on paper going into 2022.
Just doing a quick shout out. Sandwich, man.
Oh.
We rekindled this channel.
Yeah.
Bengals passion.
Yeah, Sandwich.
Watching the playoff game in 2015 with a dying father, just barely had man. Sorry to hear about that.
Yeah, sorry, man.
That.
I only saw the first part. Yeah, sorry. And then.
I mean, but
we watched that playoff game together. And
yeah,
it was like a whoop,
yeah,
and it was not ideal. But yeah, I'm glad that we were able to help with that. But the Bengals helped with that by winning, and if that's again why I'm like, that's why I wanted it for the damn Super Bowl. I knew how many people it would impact. Right? Everybody. I mean, it just changes everything. And the run changed everything. And so I hope they follow it up. And I think they're going to, but I'm going to say it as much as I can because they need to. For everybody that watches this channel and every Bengals fan that's wearing orange and black anytime or has a Bengals magnet or has a Bengals hat it's Bengal mania. It's Bengal fever. And Cincinnati's known as a baseball town. I think part of that's because the Bengals have never been consistently good to great. That can change over the next decade. That can change over the next 5 years. But they need to seize that opportunity, and it'll be exciting if they can.
I'm going to pull up another comment here in a second, but I think adding to for everyone that's watching, commenting, like a comment like that too is important to me because, I mean, anything, I don't know about you all, but like anything I do it in a way that I know I would want to watch it. I would want to consume it. It would be quality to me. So that's when we started talking about doing this channel, and that's what I've always had in my head is like, would I watch it? And if I wouldn't, I don't want to do it. And so comments like that are greatly appreciated. Thank you. And I read them when they're on our videos too that are out there. I read them. James reads them, but I read them a lot and appreciate it. So.
By the way, someone said I looked 35, or that
you're all over the place at the range on the age. It's like some people thought you were like 22, some people thought you were 25, but I think based off longevity on the radio.
Yeah. He said he thought I was 35, which I love it. And longevity on the radio, man, they still won't put me on full time, so I don't know what that is. But no, I'm just kidding. But no, thank you. And yeah, I'll take 22. Hell yeah, that dog will hunt right there, to steal Dave Lapham's words. What else we got?
Let's see here. Let's go with.
Get your questions in, by the way, if you're just joining us. Get your questions in. We're going to answer them. This is the first ever in-person live happy hour here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. Andrew Fox Miller, the guy that does all the videos, at least edits all the videos, and then me, the guy that tries to give you the latest on the Bengals.
How about a lot of comments here? You know, I'm just kind of throwing out some of the shout-outs as I go through these, but let's go with.
I like that because I'm tied. So this one from Jack Katz, I like it because I'm tied to all those guys.
What this one here? Where?
Yeah, from James to Andrew, Jake, Joe, Sands. Yeah, all good dudes, all people that grind and work really hard, and so that's what I try to find. Right, is you surround yourself with people that work hard and care about what they do, and they do that, and so I'm glad that you're enjoying the content for sure. I know Sands has some stuff he's cooking on free agency for all Bengals, so buckle up for that. I'm
throwing this up not to encourage it, but Ori's asked this about 12 times, so let's.
No.
Yeah.
There's Ori.
I get it. I mean, we don't have a way to move up anyone in a queue. I get that it's about just a numbers game.
No, the potential's certainly there.
Yeah.
If they get to a B- offensive line, so me in Spanish class when I was just trying to get by. Right, and I like to get good grades, and Spanish was like my worst subject ever. Why would you need to learn a second language? And then I learned that it would kind of be good in broadcasting to know a second language, but, you know, you kick yourself for those things. Anyways, if they get a B- offensive line, could they be the best? I mean, Joe Burrow could win MVP. I think I saw a comment like that, and that's true. Like, Jamar Chase could do exactly what Cooper Kupp did, where he is the Triple Crown winner. I don't know if he would win in receptions, lead the league in receptions. It's tough with the guys that they have, right, with Higgins and Boyd and the fact that he's going to command all the attention. But maybe. Like, it would raise the level of the entire offense. So, yeah, could they be the best offense in the league? Think about it like this. Joe Burrow is so good at reading defenses. Imagine if he could consistently get to his third read. I know this. In the playoffs, the offense would look much different. They wouldn't have started out in the end zone as much as they did, which was all the time. Evan McPherson wouldn't have to set field goal records or tie Adam Vinatieri's record for most field goals in a postseason, which is cool for him, and he's a baller, and I love the pick at the time, and I'm glad it worked out. He's money, but you don't want to do that. You want to score touchdowns, and when you're not, that means that your offense is stalling out. So, no, I think the potential is certainly there. If they get to, it doesn't have to be an A offensive line. It just can't be the topic going into every game when I'm doing my keys on Friday. They have to keep Joe Burrow clean-ish.
Yeah. I have a picture of Joe Burrow queued on every single keys to victory with, like, just because I know it's either going to be Joe Burrow, obviously, or it's about the offensive line and keeping him upright.
Yeah, and so that's the key. And honestly, the long term, really starting in 2022, as good as the defense was, and I'm not saying they're not going to be good, the offense should be the strength of the team. Because you have this elite quarterback, you have a definitely top 10, top 5 quarterback, best in the division. You have the best receiver in the division in Jamar Chase. He's probably a top 5 receiver right now, certainly top 10. You have all this depth around them. This offense should be the strength of the team, as good as the defense has been, and it wasn't this year primarily because of the offensive line. Joe was working through some things early in the year with his knee and stuff, but by the end, they should have been great, and they weren't great, and it was because of the trenches.
I'm going to do a rapid fire, not particular questions related to Bengals, it's more channel related.
We're up to 173.
I'm here, why not? That's what we're here for. Like, yeah. This is a celebration. This is a celebration of the Bengals season, but it's a celebration really of everyone that has joined the community of this channel. Like, that's why we decided to do this. So quickly. I'm going to fly through this. 1, Dan the Man. I see your comments all the time, so I want to make sure I highlight you. I will never claim to be the Joe Burrow of editors. I think I've said that before, but appreciate it nonetheless. And yes, that is what I look like.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Hey, he needs a chain, right?
He said it before, too, in the comments.
AFM, Andrew Fox. Maybe we'll just get him a Fox chain. Star Fox chain. We could do that.
I would wear that unironically and not even on camera. Like, I would just wear it to the grocery store. Like, I don't...
Hey, how many of you... God, I wish we could, like, raise your hand type stuff. If you've bought a chain since, like, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, all these dudes, T. Higgins, I mean, they all have ice now.
Right.
If you bought a chain, comment. Go ahead. What else you got?
Yeah, tell us what it is. Is it a Cincinnati Bengals type? Should we do
CBT
this?
chains.
Yeah.
Would you wear it?
Let's go with another thing about the editing.
DMs are open.
I do appreciate that, by the way, the quality editing.
He does.
But I like the fact, but he comments, but it got better as the year went along. That I appreciate because I felt the same way. I go back and even looking at something 2 months ago and I just cringe. Looking at something 2 days ago and I cringe, but that's just me. But I appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Love the live. Thank you. There was another one here I wanted to comment on with, let's see here.
Do Jocko real quick.
Where's that at?
Right there, middle.
Here?
Oh, yeah, I just want to shut this down. Not because of you, Jocko. I appreciate you. Yeah. Not you. But some Twitter troll put out something, and it was like, oh, man, Quenton Nelson negotiations. Until I see a credible source, I'm never going to buy this. I think there's a 0% chance. And I think there's a % chance for everything. And I will tell you this, the Bengals love Quenton Nelson in the draft. They would love to trade for Quenton Nelson. They might put him at left tackle. All right? They love that dude. Why in the hell would the Colts trade him? Outside of Trent Williams, he's probably the best offensive lineman in the league. He's a freak. So I don't see it happening. But yeah, I would give up 31. I would give up next year's one and a mid-round pick minimum if you could get him. I just don't think that's even close to a realistic option. And it's so ridiculous. I think the Colts wouldn't even answer the phone.
We had a few questions about Chris Evans. Might as well address that quickly.
I thought he'd have a bigger role. Yeah, me too. I must have fooled everybody because I did too. I thought the coaching staff loved him. And, Samaje Perine did have the long touchdown against the Chiefs. But outside of that play, I don't think he ever got, like, bonus yards. Joe Mixon was great at unexpected yards or whatever that stat. What's the stat called? It's something like that where it's yards over expectation. That's what it is. And Perine just isn't that. He's not bad, and he's fine, and I like having him on the roster. But I always thought Chris Evans could give them more and give them more in the passing game. And that's the thing is, like, in the Super Bowl, and I think Zach's going to grow from this and learn, but, like, I was expecting more creativity, right, where you got motions, and you're lining up Chris Evans here, and you have him against a linebacker. You have him, where he's just open, and you can use him. And that's the thing was when it was 4th and 1, I know Chase was streaking out, or 3rd and 1. That's the time to break out the play that you're going to get the first down because you're like 8 yards away from money mac time. And I thought Chris Evans was going to have a bigger role. I know his hamstring bothered him. He got nicked up after that Detroit game. And when that happened, I'm like, man, this dude. Because rookie OTAs, if you guys remember, if you guys have been here on Cincinnati Bengals, I was talking about him from the jump. I'm like, man, that dude looks different. He runs different. I know a lot of people like Puka Williams, and maybe he'll end up being good. Chris Evans looks like a receiver. He runs like a receiver. He's just gliding on the field. He's got natural hands. So I would expect him to have a big role next year. I thought he should have had a bigger role at the end of this season. Obviously, it didn't happen, but no, I think the future is very, very bright for him, and I would not be shocked at all if he's RB2 next year.
Morton, I know how to spell Bengals. It wasn't my comment, but I appreciate the correction. I do. I choose to believe it was a typo, not on my part, but thanks, Morton.
Get him, Morton. Get him. He can't spell. I have to proofread all of the thumbnails.
A couple Jamar comments, questions. Where do we see him at
3.
this point?
So it's Devontae 1. It's tough. Like, he's probably 5th to 6th in that range. But here's the thing. If you told me he was 1, or 2, because he's probably behind Adams. Adams a freak. Wouldn't shock me, but I think he's like 2 through 6, right? And when you have a weapon like that, you know, it's crazy. The thing is, for him to get like 2 or 1, he's going to have to do it consistently and do it year in, year out. So everybody that looks at the Bengals now, every coach, the division, they're all going to look now and be like, all right, we have to stop number 1. And that's why I wanted them to draft Jamar. I knew he's a freak. I knew he's different. I didn't think he'd do this. I thought he'd have 1,000+ yards and 10 touchdowns as a rookie. He exceeded that. And so I think defenses are going to give him a ton of attention, rightfully so. How does he respond to that? I think he's going to answer the bell well. And to me, and I said this on Locked On Bengals yesterday. Might have been today's show, technically. Recorded yesterday. To me, and Chad Johnson's my favorite Bengals player of all time, I think he can be the best Bengals receiver in history. He's 21. He did that. He's strong. He's got a good attitude. He works his ass off. Like, there's no really fly in the ointment. There's no reason, oh, he has a drop here or there. Okay. Right? And so outside of that, dude, I think he's going to be amazing. So is he 3rd? Is he 6th? I don't know. I think he could end up being 1 when it's all said and done, because him and that quarterback of his, Joe Burrow, they have a great rapport.
Couple just little shout outs.
Yeah.
You guys need to do this more good times.
Yeah, Brian. Hey, we will. We're going to make Andrew buy more bourbon, and then we will. No, we will, for sure. We will. That's the thing with this channel is, like, we had all these ideas, and then the season hit, and then it was just the grind. And we couldn't evolve.
You should have heard the ideas.
Yeah.
They were grand.
Yeah, and so we're going to be able to now, like, take a deep breath, not bring you content, but take a deep breath and put them out there, because we want to bring that was the whole point of this channel, and it evolved, and we have a lot of ideas. We're going to get it right, and we'll do more lives, probably from Andrew's basement, but, you know, that's as long as he's buying the bourbon, I'm willing to make the drive, you know.
Right. I mean,
he's got a spare bed. We're good.
For like James said, for it to be really a 2-man operation. Granted, we have contributors. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, like, we have great interviews from Lindsay, Elise, Nicole. Like, we have people that come in and contribute, but for a day-to-day basis, for the most part, that's it. Like, so we didn't really expect what we ran into, and
Well, it's just hard because it's not like I'm just focused on, you know, the channel. I do all the stuff at allbengals.com, Locked On Bengals. And then it's not like Andrew's just sitting here waiting for it. He's got a job too. That
like,
pays the bills. So.
And it's not like I could go, hey, James, I'm sorry you're busy. I'll just fire up the camera and give my thoughts on the Bengals. Like people want that. Like, they want
people are about to say they want it now that you did that. Yeah, they're gonna say
I don't.
We want AFM. AFM sessions, right? Andrew Fox Miller sessions. What else we got?
Oh, we got to ask this because I know you love it.
By the way, get your questions in. If you haven't yet, get your questions in. Hit that subscribe button.
I know you love this. Right here.
Yeah. To be honest, I almost didn't come to Andrew's because I needed some chili.
It's right down the street.
I was going to come later. No, but the plan in the Rapine household is to have a chili night tomorrow. Didn't do it tonight. Went with the...
It might happen tonight, too.
You got chili?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then it's happening tonight, you know. But, no, that's the plan in the Rapine household. Tomorrow is to celebrate National Chili Day. No, Skyline's my favorite food. It was tough. Like, I don't know what I would do if I had to move across the country. Like, you just do the cans. The cans aren't the same. My favorite Skyline is the Clifton Skyline. But, man, if you don't have Skyline, like, around and you can't go in there and eat it, it's rough. And carryout's great, too. And by the way, I'll say this on the live stream. I've seen all these Skyline partners today. I don't know why the hell Skyline has a partner with Cincinnati Bengals talk. I will push everything because I love it all. But I'm not just doing that just to do it, man. I see everybody getting Skyline grab bags and Skyline this and Skyline. Did you get a Skyline grab bag?
I did not.
No, they're sending box of Skyline gear.
I'm not James Rapine. Why would they send
you know how
me
many cheese conies I've had in my life, damn it? Like, so, anyways, I'm jealous. Either way, yeah, I would love to have a damn meet-up at Skyline. That's what we'll do, is have a meet-up at Skyline and throw back some conies and 3-ways and chili cheese fries. Because I like Built Bars, but, man, Skyline's up there for sure.
Wanted to throw... this has come up a few times. I'm just going to quickly address it. It's going to be super fast. Look, the Zoom thing. So there's plenty of opportunities we have that we talked about even prior to this season. In other words, like being the opportunity to like have people that are following the channel jump in and talk. Like you could do that through like StreamYard or something like that. And we talked about it. But again, it just never came. Look, if we asked about it earlier, if we do this, I don't know if we're going to do it, but if we do like a super chat thing, I will use that to fund like a software to do. I try as best I can to reinvest anything from this channel into this channel. So ideas, love to hear them. That's what this is for. Let's see.
And yeah, we can talk about that because we could probably do that, but that would probably be a post-free agency, post-draft thing where then we can get people in and talk. Because free agency, if you remember last year, and I think this year's going to be crazy, it's going to be a whirlwind. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be free agency and the draft are, I get like 0 sleep. And it's great, but what'd you do?
Nothing. We're good.
We still good?
Yeah, we're good.
You just deleted the chat.
I lost the replay of the chat, yeah.
Yeah. Who cares? Yeah, it's all right. I got the chat right here, worst case.
I don't know. Yash. Like, by the way, you're watching the UK. We're over here talking about Skyline. I apologize. You're probably like, man, I don't even.
Who's watching? Yash?
I think he was saying he was in the UK.
Oh, I gotcha.
But don't. Yeah, I mean the emoji. The fact that I can't even put an emoji in this comment would probably be evidence of that. But at the same time, like, look, I don't. If I don't know. We talk about that stuff. Like I said, all the time. We're on the phone almost every single day. It's one of those things where we just we want to build something. And honestly, anything that we have, we try to reinvest and try to build it with what we ever are fortunate to get from doing what we do. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll think of things, but no, at the end of the day, I'm always going to be fairly conservative with that. I want you all to enjoy the content, but I also certainly don't like asking people for things, but that's just my personality. So, I want to go with, what is going on?
What?
Nothing. I'll deal with it. I know what you're doing,
James.
No.
Put
this guy in timeout.
Hit Aaron's comment right now.
Yeah,
Aaron
let's
Felix.
get this.
I don't know why. Like, maybe it's because.
Why are you doing this to yourself?
Yeah, no, I'm doing it on purpose. Look, obviously it was the Bengals. I grew up a Bengals fan. All right, I like offended everybody when I said that. There's certain jobs where you have to separate the two. It's not like I'm gonna wear it. Like this is my shirt. Right, for Locked On Bengals. This is the Locked On Bengals shirt, even though technically I can't say that. It's the Jake and James Locked shirt with Rivertown Inquiry, so you should go get one at rivertowninquiry.com. But, no, it was the Bengals. Like, I'm a Cincinnati native. I just said Chad Johnson was my favorite Bengals player ever. Do the math. I'm 30 years old. I mean, how much more do we need? I don't know what else. But when it's your job, you treat it differently. And so that's the thing is I want to give you guys the best coverage. So that's what I have to do. You can get the fan takes elsewhere, and there are fan channels, right? Like Zim has a great channel, Bengal Jim has a great channel.
Awesome.
You know,
yeah.
so like
I follow all of them.
So yeah,
I do my research.
New Stripe City, that my guy, like they all have great stuff, and so that's awesome. My realm and our like what we designed when I came back from Cleveland, when I was there for a couple of years and then came back, it was like, all right. This is where we need to go. And it kind of evolved over time. And I'm not saying that the vision was this or we knew that it was going to happen. But that's why I do what I do. And that's why I said that. So I'm not trying to offend anybody or act like I don't even know what you guys expect. What did you guys think I was like from Pittsburgh or something? I don't know. But that clears it up.
Does it?
It doesn't?
Look, can I give my perspective? Because I feel like it's kind of what theirs is. Like, no. I'm going to be fair. I'm going to be totally fair.
No.
I'm gonna be super fair.
I don't trust Andrew in this situation.
No, I'm serious. I'm not going through like all like history or anything. I'm piggybacking on what you just said.
Go ahead.
I'm looking at from the comments perspective of what I see, and I'm not going to dwell on it. But my point is this: like, I totally get where you're coming from. I'm on your side with this.
Yeah.
And know that when we started this channel, we knew, like, you have a certain role and a certain obligation of what you do. Yeah. I never once said we're going to make a channel that is all about fans, but it will be for the fans.
Sure.
And because
that's fair.
And I'm the person touching every single one of these videos. Know that as a fan, you're always gonna have my lens when I'm doing these things. But I see some of the comments, and it's like, look, I know it's the minority, but when you do like a prediction, it's silly. So if you happen to predict a team's gonna lose, it doesn't mean you're not a fan, regardless of whether or not that's the topic. Just keep doing what you do. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So yeah, that I hope clears it up, right? Like most people in Cleveland media are from Cleveland. Most people in Cincinnati media are from Cincinnati, give or take a few. So odds are their families were wearing Bengals gear during this run. Not saying everybody. I'm not, and I'm not going to name names or anything like that. But like this idea, like there is an obligation to separate the two. And so I'm never going to say we or wear anything besides my shirt that represents the podcast that I do daily with Jake Liska. Like that's it. So I hope that solves it some. But yeah, as far as like in Cleveland, dude, like loyal, we have the best fans. Love everybody.
Cincinnati, you're talking about.
No, in Cleveland.
Oh.
I was in Cleveland for week 18 on 4th Street. And I forget your name, man. But you were like, man, who are you a fan of? Like I was about to say like, I love the Kansas City Chiefs or I love the Raiders or like, no, like I grew up in Cincinnati. Like, what do you want me to do? There's just a certain professional obligation. So that's where that comes from. But like 10-year-old me, fucking love the Bengals. All right. So there you go. That's it. I hope that works. Let's ditch that topic forever. I just addressed it on this live stream.
Yeah. Whoever's on this, like this is privileged all of a sudden.
Yeah.
This escalated.
Spread the word.
By the way, did Lee Walter actually say something to you in a tunnel about it at a Kansas City game? The ambiguity of your fandom?
That clears it up for me. Thanks, ambiguity. I thought about something.
Do I need to put Lee in timeout?
No. I said something to you about that. Oh, Lee, are you Lee? Lee, man, why do you have a bald eagle? I need to see your face, man, to make sure. Yeah, I think we shook hands after the Kansas City game. I would imagine I saw you before the game and after the game. I hope so. We'll see if you comment. But yeah, you were in that. I believe. I remember the exchange. Assuming you're you, it's hard to tell again because bald eagle. Come on, man, what you doing here? But yeah, like that's the thing is word traveled quickly or something. But that's it, you know. When I say I'm a Cincinnati native, I hope that was a good enough hint. Obviously, it wasn't, but there you go.
I want to throw up this one, Brian. We'll see, Brian. We'll see. Yeah, you're not wrong, but we'll see. Clip this now. Exactly right. Like we'll see what I'm gonna have to make this unlisted when we're done. Thanks, James. I wanted to make a cool thumbnail for it. I know, Lee. I was joking. I'm sure you did. I was
no.
Time.
Okay, but so I was walking down or walking up, but as walking down, you were on the left side, Lee. I hope that's the case because I remember the exchange 100%. So yeah, shout out to you. And by the way, I try to hammer this home. Anytime you see me in person, say hi. I love that. I love it whether we're on the road, whether I'm at wherever, or bouncing around town. If I'm in Cincinnati and you're in Cincinnati, it doesn't matter. I love that stuff. I love seeing our fans of the channel or fans of the podcast or the website or all three. I love that, and I will make sure you tell Andrew when you see him never hi as well.
I'm not going to bring I don't want to bring this up again. You don't have to say a word. This is what the point I wanted to make, though. Jocko, it's a good point. I honestly heard James say he wasn't a Bengals fan on the other videos. He's never said I am against the Bengals. He's just saying that I don't have an allegiance to any particular team, including the Bengals. Is that fair? Can we move on? Is that fair, what I just said?
I was reading a tweet. Go ahead.
Oh, James. I don't want to keep this up any longer. I was trying to make it brief. My point was just that you never literally said that when you say wasn't, it's saying I am against, like I am, I'm
not like rooting against the Bengals.
Exactly. Like, yeah, like you're just saying.
Is that how people took it? No.
I'm neutral. I'm agnostic.
Correct.
Right? Thank you. Okay.
Because that's my job.
And that's not it's not him pushing against you. It's him trying to be as neutral as possible so you can get, objective information. That's what we do.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on. Let's go. Let's get to some good stuff.
You wanted
here.
me to replay.
Get your questions in. 154 watching. Let's get some good ones here. What free agency questions you got?
I'm looking here.
Andrew's going to answer them.
I'm going to remove this one first. Hang on. All right. So, this has come up a few times. What was your favorite bro to chase moment?
Oh,
That's a tough one.
the first one.
Yeah, that's fair.
Here's why. Because I was on the Jamar Chase train. I went on this channel. I went on New Stripe City and Zim's channel.
Which we republished part of.
Yeah, we republished part of it. Yeah. And I was like, I went like skip. I was like, he's a better prospect than Penei Sewell. Like, and when you do that, like when you go out there like that, and we just talked about the fan thing. You guys remember that. It's not like I want to be right with that. And that's what I believe. I'll never give you a take that I don't really believe. And so I felt like Chase was the better prospect. He dominated at 19. He was this explosive, dynamic, strong, fast, deep threat that the Bengals were lacking, that they were hoping A.J. Green still had it, and he didn't have it. And I thought he had it, and he didn't have it at the time. And so, like, you can get that, and you can give that for Burrow. Like, you do that because he's so rare and unique. And so when he went through all those drop issues, it's like, what is going on? And I saw him, and it was like underreported earlier. I tried to give him time because I was watching it at OTAs, and I'm like, it's not like rookie OTA or rookie minicamp, and then OTAs, and I'm like, hey, he's just probably going through the motions. And then camp happened, and it kept happening. And then after that, it was like, man, what is going on? And then preseason happened, and after the 3 drops in the preseason game, it was against Washington? I think it was against Washington. It's like, all right, this is an issue. And so I wrote about it, and I got crushed from some. And I was like, look, he can turn it around, but it's clearly an issue. They need to fix it. And he did fix it. And that was the point where he fixed it. So his first reception in the NFL, it was Burrow to Chase for a first down on the far sideline, on the left sideline. And then before halftime, the one to the Vikings. It just unlocked him. And it just set the tone for the season that this guy was going to be a game-changing player because he didn't do that in preseason practice or in training camp practice. He did not. He had like 1 or 2 deep balls. That's it. Part of that was Chidobe Awuzie, much better, right? Chidobe Awuzie was much better than we realized. He was clearly a CB1. That being said, there were still questions. And so the first one was probably the best one. You follow that up, I think I'm trying to think of another one that would have really. I mean, obviously the Ravens one was insane. The Chiefs game.
Chiefs, yeah.
The Chiefs is tough because basically what he did is he was like, we are not getting blown out in this game. I'm taking over, and Burrow fed off of him, and that's the fun part about that duo. It isn't just Burrow, like. Chase can like trigger the offense and then Burrow can feed off of him. And that's a rare thing. Like Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers have that, but not many quarterback wide receiver combos have that. I would say Mahomes, Kelsey, but it isn't many.
Let me ask you a question.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
what we're here for, right? No. Because we had a lot of conversations when you would go and do news conferences and, behind the scenes. What was your favorite moment as somebody that is able to go into, sit in front of players at press conferences that maybe that was out there on like there's footage of it out there, or maybe there wasn't. But obviously, I'm not trying to pry or like on anything that's not supposed to get out there. But like maybe a moment of camaraderie. Maybe it was a moment where you're like, hey, this is it could be related just to other people that cover the Bengals. Just what was a cool moment for you?
Couple of them. So I'll go back to week 4. Bengals come back, they beat the Jags. And CJ Uzomah, and he's given us a hell of a shit ton of different moments this year, right? But he was like, and I forget exactly what he said. We aired it, but he was like, and then Joe Burrow's just stone-faced.
The wink. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, and then he gives a little wink. Yeah. But then at the end of the news conference, I'm like, wait, can you do that Joe Burrow impersonation again? Yeah. And he's like, Joe Burrow, and he does it. And it's just like, holy shit. Like this is when Burrow wasn't all the way back yet. And he's like, I'm not losing to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And so let's go. Like Burrow wills them to win. Normally they lose that game. And that's all Burrow. And Uzomah's like, man, and that's the you can't zero me mic'd up game. So that's one is Uzomah making that face afterwards. I'm trying to think. Evan McPherson was great in news conferences. And then obviously the thing that went viral, my question, by the way, but I'm not going to pat myself on my own back, even though I just did. I asked Joe Burrow about Evan McPherson after the Tennessee game in Nashville.
Yeah.
And he's like, that guy, man, that guy's just different, and then he tells the swing of the leg thing that goes everywhere. I mean, it was played on ESPN. It was played and it's like that one. So that one was good. And then another one, well, also that day, it was later. It was It's Disrespectful.
Yeah.
GIF that Bengals captain put
DJ
together
Reader.
after you put it. Yeah. You put together the video, and DJ Reader just went on a tangent because he dominated that game. And It's Disrespectful. Search DJ Reader, search Andrew Fox Miller on Twitter. You'll see it.
Yeah, if you do like
GIF.
a GIF or GIF search, I'm not going to play sides here on that one. But yeah, if you search that out, look DJ Reader or look Andrew Fox Miller, and Bengals captain actually hooked us up and got a little.
Yeah, he put the GIF together.
Yeah.
And then the third one, there's one more. In this one, look, I like getting better than like regular answers from Joe Burrow, and it's easy to get regular answers from him. But like if you can get him to like smile or open up a little bit, and he'll give you honest answers most of the time. But sometimes it's hard to get something out of him. And I'm like, after the AFC title game, I'm like, hey man, tell me about your chain. And it's not a good question, right? It's not. But it got a great answer, and I remember that, and he's like, oh, you like that one? There's no story to it, and it's just, those are the moments, and because they're happy moments where you're getting these guys in not even, you're getting like genuine answers, and it's hard to do, and I wouldn't give genuine answers every time, I was asked a question by me if I was on the other side either, so it's tough. But when you do, you remember it, especially during this year. So those are some of the moments post game, I think, that outside of celebrating the AFC title game and watching everybody celebrate, that stand out.
We're actually getting a gauntlet of really good questions all of a sudden. So
Cool.
I'm going to fly through those.
Let's do it.
Before I do it, I want to call out the fact that we got about 109 likes. Listen, people do it all the time. Hey, give us a like, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. I get it. It's not about like an algorithm and catering to this or that. Like, it's genuinely like I sit here and I analyze what we do and decide if it's worth it. So any engagement you can give, the comments are clearly an indicator that this is going well for everyone. Again, it's not about feeling great about this or that, or making ourselves whatever. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
My point is that I like to analyze all this, and I want to make sure that it's rewarding to everyone. So likes, whatever you can do, we appreciate, because it helps me prioritize.
Andrew's about to drop his Venmo. Hold on.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. So here we go. And this one, I want somewhat rapid fire. Okay?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, let's go.
Rapid fire.
All right. So, jeez, I lost my spot.
See,
All right, here we go. Ready?
all that.
Boom. One. Should Zac Taylor leave play calling Brian Callahan?
This isn't as rapid fire as it sounds, but I'll be quick. No. Jesus, Andrew. First things first, stop serving this man. Second thing, Brian Callahan has not called plays in his career. I like Brian Callahan. I think he's a very smart coach. I kind of think that the Broncos should have poached him this year. When they interviewed him for a head coaching job, I was like, man, offensive coaches go quick, and they get off the, if you can get him a year early versus a year late, you obviously do that because you could scoop him up. I think he's going to be a great head coach one day, probably next year, if the Bengals have a big year on offense like I expect them to. That being said, Zac Taylor has 3 years of play calling experience now, and he's a head coach that seems to learn from his mistakes and learn. And that's one of his best attributes, I think. He knew he was young coming into this job. He knew he would have to adapt and learn, and he's growing into it. And that's hard, right? I don't know if Marvin ever learned. It didn't feel that way right after a few years in. So it's hard to do. So as long as he shows growth, I think it's okay. The other part of this, and I'm not absolving Zac Taylor. There's plenty of things, that I've been critical of, and I'll continue to be critical of as long as he makes those mistakes. Super Bowl wise, plenty of things I could dive into, but I want to see him be a play caller behind a good offensive line. B-, C+ offensive line, because in the playoffs, they one arm tied behind the back. I wish they would have thrown more help towards Aaron Donald. I would have made sure Aaron Donald didn't beat them. But, they didn't go that route, and it didn't work. But So short answer, stay with Zac for now. Long answer, I think Brian Callahan's going to be great. If they gave him play calling duties, I wouldn't necessarily be against it, but I think it's weird to do it now because they're in win now mode, and now you'd be going with a first-year play caller.
Okay. Rapid fire, James.
That's hard to do with that one.
I hear you.
Colin, they should draft Sauce Gardner right now if he's there at 31. He's not going to be. He's better than Derek Stingley. Ahmad Sauce Gardner is the best cornerback in this draft. I remember getting laughed at by a fellow reporter that I'm not going to name. I almost did. It's a fellow. It's a man. So I almost named his name. I'm not going to do him like that. But yeah, number one cornerback in this draft. He won't be there at 31. If he was there, you take him regardless of what they do on the offensive line because he's a star.
Boom, go. Jesse Bates.
They're going to franchise tag Jesse Bates, and that's why he went on NFL Network and did what he did yesterday to try to push it in the right direction. It's a PR move. I get it. I understand it. I think not enough has changed from last offseason to this offseason, given the regular season and how he played, even though he was great in the playoffs. So I think they'll franchise tag him, and maybe they'll get a deal done before training camp starts because it just extends the negotiating window. But Bates is going to have to come down in his asking price or guaranteed money asking price, I think, for a deal to get done.
By the way, thank you, Leo. That's exactly what we're looking for. I just need to know what we should be doing, and this helps. That's it. It's not a popularity thing. We don't gain anything. I just want to know. Do people like it?
We're up to $1.25 likes, bro.
What is Casualberry? What are we doing here?
Casualberry's.
I know that. I know who that is. Who are we calling out? Is Joe Goodberry in the chat? What are we saying?
No, they were talking about you. They don't know. No, that's not Joe.
Oh, the hat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Goodberry. Joe Goodberry hat. By the way, he sells these. He sells a lot of stuff, as you know. But
dude, I'm gonna die if Zach David's Eli Apple. Is that Casualberry? Eli, tweet us right now if that's you.
Where is Casualberry? Yeah, everyone's asking. All right. I mean, I know.
Hey, we're actually gonna get him on the channel. I already talked to Joe this week. I knew it probably wouldn't work because we were tied up. I'm gonna get him on next week. So stay tuned. You didn't even know that. Breaking news. We're gonna have Joe on next week.
Hang on.
James Andrew combined questions too.
Yeah. All right. We'll pull it up.
I don't know
now. You're already.
Burrow gets 2 new offensive linemen. Draft free agency. Does he set NFL records in every?
I don't know about every record. I mean, it's gonna be great.
No, not if he only gets 2 new offensive linemen. Free agency plus the draft. That's not enough. It's already not enough. So no.
Oh, you're saying 2 combined draft.
If it is now, if it's 2 free agents, 2 draft picks, then maybe because if you hit on those free agents and then someone between the draft picks and Jackson Carman and Deontay Smith and Hakeem Adeniji and Trey Hill, of all those guys emerges, I think Trey Hopkins would still be on the roster, and I think he's going to be better this coming year than he was, especially in the first half of the year. So yeah, I think there's certainly an opportunity for that. Again, Joe Burrow doesn't need a great B- offensive line. I'm going to keep saying it. And just look back to the LSU offensive line. It wasn't great, but it was good enough. And Burrow works his magic, man. I mean, he's got that Harry Potter magic wand that works, hocus pocus, da-da-da. What are the spells? You know Harry Potter better than I do.
I'm not going. Rapid fire, James. Rapid fire.
Should we bring back Riley Reif? Yeah.
That's a good one.
For sure.
Yeah.
Unless you plan on the Teron Armstead, Laramie Tunsil, going after these big left tackles where you can just put Jonah at right tackle, probably bring back Riley Reif. It's going to be cost effective. He's older, but he can still play. And he's coming off of a pretty significant ankle injury that required surgery. I think, you try to bring him back on a 1-year deal. Maybe you do a 2-year deal because he is versatile. He could play guard. Like that's the thing. Good locker room guy, can play guard, can play tackle, can still play. I think you try to bring him back. So we'll see. I don't have enough details about the ankle injury, but that's my gut.
I want to not this one. Don't worry about this. I wanted to mention I was just kind of
come on, Jack Cats.
Don't
disagree.
I want to mention this because you mentioned it previously. You've been on their channel.
Yeah, I've been on. Yeah,
and I've had conversations with Ace. We've talked about like YouTube in general, like from my perspective.
Strange Shreds. You're on the Built Bar plan.
Zim wouldn't know me if he saw me, but we follow each other on Twitter. I mean, he's seen me, but
Yeah,
he knows James.
No, I chopped it up with them in Los Angeles the night before the Super Bowl. Yeah, we're gonna get them on the channel. We'll get them on the channel for sure.
Zim probably thinks I'm James's Uber driver based on some of our fan meet and greets and me following him around like, James, it's 2:30. Are we ready to go? Let's go.
No, man, we gotta throw back one more. I'm always a one more. Who else is one more? I'm always team one more, and that's it. That doesn't mean one more on one more on one more. It's just one more. When it's time to go, you have one more. Go.
I actually, there's been some people alluding to
If
this.
you're not driving.
There have been people alluding this, and I personally have been, I was thinking about this today.
Oh.
I love Frank Pollack.
Oh, shit. Go ahead and drop this. Go ahead. No, I'm going to scoot out of the way. You're about to drop
I have
it
no
too.
analysis. My whole thing is that I don't know that I blame Frank Pollack or the O-line coach for what we saw this season.
Oh, I thought you were about to go the other way.
No.
I thought Andrew was about to be like,
No. Don't get me wrong. I wish now that I just conjured up.
oh. I thought he was going to be like, I love Frank Pollack, but.
No. I do. And I'm surprised that
He
how many
couldn't
people are-
develop Jackson Carman.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he's part of the problem. I think talent is a big issue, and that's it, right? Is much like Lou Anarumo. You need a certain talent, and it honestly, I think it's easy. I'm surprised Frank Pollack hasn't taken more heat, but he will if they don't get it right this offseason. And so they're going to have to get it right this offseason and bring in some talent because it takes time to develop guys. And I think Jackson Carman, for example, I don't know. I don't know if that was Pollack's guy or not. It doesn't feel like it would be. But not that Pollack didn't want him, by the way. I asked him on draft night if he thought Carman could start day one. And see, the thing is with that, how many times did Pollack get to interview him? Well, how much did scouting went to? I don't know. But I think Frank is a good offensive line coach. You talk to some, they believe he's a great offensive line coach. So I think it's a talent issue right now, and I think that's where it lies. So we'll see, though, because you do need to start developing some of these guys and hitting on draft picks if you're going to build a sustainable line long term.
I'm going to rapid fire this one. One more, always one more.
Yes, see, one more.
Skyline is the worst. Max, please stop.
Max,
stop, Max.
Is he even a block that dude?
I put him in timeout earlier. Come on, Max, play the game here. Have fun with us. AFM has a 5-star rating. James, you have the best DD in the game. Have another.
That's
yeah,
right.
I can accept that. That's fine. And he certainly does. Let's see. We have.
Well, why wouldn't I?
Yeah, a lot of Pollack love. Pollack success story for us. Pollack for president. Burger King or McDonald's? That's actually a really good question, and I didn't mean to stop on it, but I clicked it, and here we are.
McDonald's. And here's why.
Rapid fire.
Here's why.
Come on.
If you know Cincinnati, the Kenwood McDonald's is, how it looks in the commercial? The Kenwood McDonald's has it that way. And I've never had McDonald's like that in my life. And yeah, you go through the Kenwood McDonald's, it's exactly like that. It's fast and it tastes great. So, we've been to the Kenwood McDonald's after a meet and greet.
We have, and I'm not gonna lie.
Tell them I order.
we go to the night before the Oakland game. We did a meet and greet, which we published here. We reminded people about here. So when we do it in the future, check it out. I drove James home. It was about 2 a.m. We go through McDonald's. I was sober. I don't remember the exact order, but it was something in the line of 20 nuggets, and you had 2 double this or that. It doesn't matter. The point is, I remember the receipt, and the receipt was about $16. $3 of that was me. And James thought I was sick when I said I wanted a small fry.
He ordered we've been out all night. I didn't eat dinner. All right, so I'm drinking. I didn't eat dinner. No, because I got to it started at 6. Maybe 6:30 or so. And I got there. I was thinking I was going to eat. It was at the Holy Grail on the Banks, and I didn't get to eat, which was great. I love interacting and stuff. And I'm like, man, I'm starving. I was like, let's stop. I ordered a triple cheeseburger and 20 nuggets.
No, it was 2.
Was it 2?
It was 2 bacon McDoubles. That's what it was.
2 bacon McDoubles and 20 nuggets. Yeah. Yep. Hey, that's why you eat the Built Bars. So on Saturday or Friday night, one of the nights. And it's all about the balance.
And I said a small fry and a 6-piece chicken nugget. And you're like, you okay? I'm like, dude, I'm driving you. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, he ate. Who wants 6 nuggets and a fry? Like, I don't know. That was crazy to me.
Anyway.
Anyways, I hadn't eaten dinner.
Yeah,
so.
we're moving on. I know we said rapid fire here.
What do y'all get from McDonald's? Blow up the comments.
By the way, Burger King better burgers, McDonald's better fries.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. I mean, there's not as many Burger Kings around. Accessibility matters too.
Rick Holly, sure, shout out. I mean, no, whoever asks me for a shout out, that's odd. Go, yeah, absolutely, Rick Holly. You see me, I see you. Appreciate it.
Mike Brown's gonna.
That's
be
a very
7 years.
high level question, but okay. I mean, like, I'm not criticizing. Like, I don't know where to go with it.
See, I don't think it's tied to his age. Like, I think he wants to win, of course. To me, it's going to be more. He knows the opportunity they have, so he's going to be like, all right, let's go put our chips in. And that's the thing. If there was ever a time in Bengals history for them to say, we got to go all in, it's right now. Because they could literally grab the fan base and never let go and take Cincinnati and make it a football town, make the Bengals one of the coolest franchises in the country because they have such a likable, star but humble team, right? Burrow, Chase, Zac Taylor's super likable. The defense is this scrappy, hard-nosed. Trey Hendrickson's just this football dude that, you know, and so they're really likable and easy to root for. And I'm going to say it. I said it earlier in the stream. They have great uniforms. That matters and from a likable standpoint and like a Q rating. But they have a chance to win year in and year out. And so, yeah, I mean, if there's ever a time for him to say, I'm going all in like it's Hold'em, like we're playing a little 5-card draw, which is better than Hold'em. I know that's a take, and it's going to make everybody mad, but it's true. Deuce is wild. Now's the time for Mike Brown to do that.
What do we think about kick returner heading into 2022?
I mean, kick return, it ties all together. I don't think it's necessarily kick returner. It might be returner.
Yeah.
Punt returner as well.
Because they re-signed.
Yeah, they brought back Trent Taylor on the offseason roster. Chris Evans could certainly serve as that as well. But they need a 4th receiver. And I think they were they drafted Chase 5th overall. I think they were open to drafting a receiver in the middle rounds last year, like this developmental speed return type person. So I think that's what they'll look for. I think they're going to add that in the draft. I wouldn't be shocked. They could have 8 to 9 draft picks, depending. One of them is probably going to be on a receiver in the mid rounds, maybe like late day 2, probably early day 3, if I had to guess.
Did you say this? Callahan has never called plays before. I may miss it. By the way, and honestly, I threw the question up because this person followed me on Twitter, which I can't believe.
No, but I mean today, Bobby, is what I mean. So now Zac Taylor has 3 years. We're not talking about 2019. They sucked in 2019. There was no expectations, and Zac Taylor could go through his growing pains. You don't have time for growing pains anymore. You need win now. And so that's what I mean. You're right. Zac hadn't called plays, but now he has 3 years under his belt. And so it's like they've dealt with limitations in all 3 seasons. If they fix the offensive line, do you really want to give it to a new play caller? I think Brian's really smart, like I said, and I think he could be a great play caller and a great head coach, honestly. But do you want to shake up the pot? Do you want to do that right now, stir up the pot? I say no, assuming you get the offensive line. If you're talking about scheming around the offensive line, then yeah, maybe you just do that to try to make a change. But they better not have that issue. They better fix the offensive line this offseason. So I would stick with Zac for now.
This has come up a number of times, really since the beginning of the stream, and I want to give it some. And a lot of other people asked about it. I wish I could have gotten to you, but here we are. I was kind of waiting for another Kevin Huber question. Where are we at with him?
I heard he wants to keep playing.
Sure.
Now, that might change. I think he left a lot to be desired by the end. I think he was dealing with a little injury here or there, and I don't know exactly what yet. Hopefully I figure that out. But they were flirting. They kept bringing in Drew Chrisman, in and out of the practice squad. You know, he's a LaSalle grad, Cincinnati local native, went to Ohio State. So I think it's going to be a competition worst case. And I know a lot of people want the San Diego State kid, I think, that can like kick punts farther than Joe Burrow can throw the ball. And so, yeah, maybe they do that. At the same time, let's hold off on drafting a punter. Drew Chrisman might be just fine. And so we'll see. We'll see. We'll be able to dive into that more. But, yeah, apparently the kid from San Diego State's amazing. I haven't done a ton of research on him yet because draft prep-wise, punter's low on the list. And let's be honest, we're starting pretty late in the draft game right now. We'll catch up here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk, just not there yet.
Yeah, a lot of Huber comments. How old is he?
Yeah, he's what, 38-ish?
Yeah.
No, I'll check. I have my laptop in front of me. He's 36. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kevin. I didn't mean to age you. No, he's 36, and it's not about like how old he is. I don't care if he's 46. It's the performance part of it, and so I think it'll probably be a camp competition between him and Drew Chrisman, if I had to guess. Maybe it's not. Maybe neither guy's on the roster. But that's what I if I had to guess, that's what it would be. And I do expect Huber to try to continue punting in the NFL, probably in Cincinnati if it's possible. Why would he want to leave here at this point? Any more? All right, get your questions in. We'll go for a few more minutes here.
Yeah.
We'll go for a few more minutes.
We've almost gone 2 hours. That's unprecedented.
Unprecedented. No, but it's been a lot of fun. You guys are the best. That's why we're doing it. So get your questions in right now. We'll go another 10 minutes or so. This is our first ever happy hour. Look at Andrew's just throwing it back, man.
Throwing it back. A wild 6.5 ounces of bourbon this entire night.
Yeah.
There's
no questions?
No. There's okay. What do we got? A lot of commentary on McDonald's, but we're not going to revisit that.
No. Do the
what?
Oh yeah, you could do Royal Flush Terry right there.
Okay.
He is. No, you're right. He is, and they'll have to resign. I believe he signed a 1-year deal, so free agent to be. We'll see what happens there. So, but yeah, certainly. If he's healthy, he's a big part of the special teams unit. And it might be that simple, right? You have him, but then there's still the punt returner part of it. And regardless, that's going to be a thing where if they draft a receiver, you would love to get a speedy guy that can help on special teams right away. Naturally, you'd say a returner for a receiver.
By the way, Joshua Chen, the video we just put out addressed Armstead, didn't it?
Mm-mm.
No?
That was Tunsil.
Oh, no?
You're talking about you're talking about with Renner. Yeah, I mean, a little bit, but I didn't talk about him a ton.
Okay.
Teron Armstead, yeah. Here's the thing. I didn't dive into like how it would work or anything. They're going to have to give him a ton of guaranteed money. And that's the one thing the Bengals haven't done a lot of. They're going to have to with Burrow and Chase and probably Higgins and, this new wave anyway. So maybe they start now. And honestly, it could be the best bet, their best path to fortifying this offensive line. If you got, in our video yesterday, you should check it out, but it was like, well, what if you traded for Tunsil and sign Armstead, and then those are your tackles, you move Jonah Williams inside? Like, that's home run, but that's a lot of money. And so I'm down with Armstead, but it's going to cost a lot, and it depends on the cost. And it depends on who's willing to pay him that, because some of these teams might not be willing to go that high. And with the cap going up, with where the Bengals are at, if they do it, good for them. If they go Brandon Scherf, if they go any of these big-time offensive linemen that are just the best of their position group, I'm not going to complain. And the Armstead thing, again, if you get him to be your left tackle, you can move Jonah to right tackle, you could move him inside, and now you're suddenly better in 2 spots. And it could go a long way into fortifying the offensive line.
Sorry, I need to know if that's real. First of all, she wouldn't ask for a beer; she'd ask for a seltzer. What's going on?
Yeah, that's not her.
Okay, it might be. I'll look. Thank you, Bobby H. Let's go with. By the way, Tony Blaze, we talked about Eli Apple. It was at really the top of all of this, which I know it's a lot, nearly 2 hours, but we did address Eli Apple a bit in the beginning of this. So we'll post this again.
No, but I can do it real quick.
Can you?
I can do it real quick, little Tony, I got you, Mr. Blaze.
All right, we'll see.
And I'll do it all right, here, we'll time it. 15 seconds.
I should have just put a freaking stopwatch up here. But go on.
Eli Apple's a decent player, but the distractions of Twitter could get in the way. How much money does he want? If he's willing to stop the crappy tweeting and be cornerback 4, then I think that you're certainly open to bringing him back.
You talked about 4th wide receiver. You want to address that at all?
I mean, there's a lot, Ori, of good free agent wide receivers. The problem is, do you want to invest the money into that position, knowing everything else that you need to add? But yeah, I mean, there are. But again, do you want to do that? And then are they willing to be the 4th guy? If so, I'll give you a name. I love the idea of signing like an Adam Humphries, like a slot. You could still draft that speedster that can be the returner, right? And maybe serve as, the backup if one of these guys get hurt. But an Adam Humphries that can be the slot machine, give Boyd a break when he needs it. Or you go 4 wide and you just have another guy you can give option routes to and be confident that they're going to pick the right route, do everything, and Burrow can be on the right page, right? So almost like Trent Taylor, but better. Like if you could find that, and Adam Humphries is going to be a free agent, would not be mad at that one. So yeah, there are good free agent wide receivers, and I think there's going to be some value out there for sure. Emmanuel Sanders is another one. He's older now, but you never know. 4th wide receiver, contender. Things change, man. When you're a contending team, you can get guys like that.
Let's see. We talked about Jesse Bates.
It's all right. Click it.
You think?
Yeah.
It's been brought up a few times by Matthew Kenny.
Yeah. No, it's all right. No, he does miss tackles. And that's the thing. I think that's why the Bengals haven't paid him what he wants yet. Is he was great in 2020. Was second team All-Pro. Didn't make the Pro Bowl. They said, all right, do it again. We'll pay you. Do it again. And he struggled. He was great in the postseason, but he struggled. 80 tackles, 1 interception. Like, it just wasn't as good as he had been. And so, yeah, he had a great postseason. What does it mean? And so I think that they're going to ultimately franchise tag him. And he's always going to miss some tackles, but he's a true free safety. And he's really damn good at what he does. And he would get paid on the open market. I just think the Bengals, they might lean into franchise tagging him versus paying him what he wants, which could be $16, $17 million per year.
Noodle video on demand. We'll post it. Just I feel like
no, it's getting saved. Yeah, it'll be up
when we repost these lives. I feel like it can be very hit or miss. I'm still trying to figure it out. Sometimes we post it and they do okay when on rewatch, but then there are times where I feel like it's kind of invisible. So I'm not really sure. My point is, it goes back to the likes and things and engagements from you all. I just want to know what you want to see, and I'll keep doing it. That's it. So it'll get out there. It'll get out there. Let's see.
Shout out to Jessica Miller. We'll bring you a beer in a bit. Keep going.
If that's real.
It is. I already checked.
Okay, so
I text her.
My wife commented on here. Awesome.
Hopefully she has McDonald's upstairs.
Yeah. So
what
do I do this?
Do it. It's not happening. Bates is switching his number to 3.
I said rapid fire. You gave me rapid fire.
There you go. Keep going.
All right. But we laughed though because this was talked about in the last offseason and then it just recently caught on again.
Yeah, it's a weird time. Yeah, it's fine. Like it's cool with the 513.
Yeah.
Boyd isn't doing it.
What's your 40-yard dash time?
All right, so I am going to the Combine. I'll be there Tuesday, Wednesday, so we'll get videos and stuff. That's why you subscribe to Cincinnati Bengals Talk.
Are you going to get a video of you doing a 40-yard dash that I can put on the channel?
We'll see. I haven't ran a 40-yard dash since 8th grade. 8th grade.
Please send it to me.
At the track, you've probably been there. The track outside the football field at LaSalle High School, and I ran a 4.8 in the summer between 8th grade and freshman year. I haven't ran one since. I still think I could probably get around. It sounds crazy. I think, especially if I train, because I haven't ran one, I think I could get sub 5 if I really, really tried. But, I'm 30 now, so you never know. Andrew, he's like sub 7. 6.8 40-yard dash.
I asked for rapid fire. You're pushing it, though.
The rapid fire is my 40-yard dash at 4.8.
I don't know about that.
As an eighth
I
grader.
kind of want to throw this up.
As an eighth grader. I was 13.
We've never had this conversation. I don't know that I care.
Do you guys
from
ever
my
get access?
perspective.
Yeah, the all 22. Yeah, I could have access to that. Yes, correct.
The question though is like that's where it gets tricky, right? From a channel perspective.
We're limited with what we put out there because it gets flagged for copyright stuff. So we've already kind of pushed the boundary a little bit with some of the stuff we do with my reaction videos. So it's tough.
Yeah, I've had to re-upload a few things.
We can't just throw out like game footage or like Andrew's Andrew's highlight or not
after
highlight.
the FC Championship.
The hype video.
Yeah.
Zero.
No.
We didn't make anything off that. There's no monetization because the music, because of everything that was used. So, sometimes we just do it because we know you guys are gonna like it,
right?
And so that's part of it. But yeah, I mean, we have access to the film, but there's a give and take with that because you can't monetize on it.
I know, TB. I'm sitting here saying the same thing. I appreciate it, but
Come on, Tyler Boyd.
Oh, right.
All right, well, rapid fire. Ask questions. Get some good questions in here. We can rapid fire.
Gosh, it is so late in the. I thought you were going to go to. I mean, I'm glad you're here, but man,
He wants the donut.
I'm tired for you. I am tired for you. It is a. It's got to be what? What is it? 3:30, 4:30 in the morning where you're at? Let's see what else. Okay, this has come up a lot. I don't even know that you have readily have a good answer for this. Like something you could just.
Probably Teron Armstead, man. He's the best. Either that or Brandon Scherf, right? And it's probably Armstead just because Scherf has had some injury issues. But Scherf didn't give up a sack last year, so either one. Like, give me one. And Scherf costs less. He is a guard. The Bengals never prioritize guard. I tried to tell people last year that they weren't getting Tooney because they're not going to swim in those waters. Maybe with Scherf, because he'll make less than Tooney. There's a chance. But, one of those two. If you can give me one of those two in free agency, sign me up. Because I can find receivers. I can find edge rush. I can find all that value. Go spend on offensive line.
J.C. Jackson's come up a lot. You want to throw that
Yeah, do it.
Right.
As the top, Sewell.
I don't know that the context of it, but it was coming up for a while.
I hope that isn't like Bengals Sewell 513, as in like I know it's probably not. It's probably your last name.
I wondered about that too because B. Sewell also made the very upset about being flagged for copyright infringement, like footage of you playing for the Lions.
That's funny, but that's what we try to avoid that. I would love that. But what are you doing offensive line wise? Because if you get J.C. Jackson, you're going to be spending probably $18 million per. Which, what they gave to Trae Waynes, that's fine. You'd rather go get the elite 26-year-old who's still rising, the one-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champion, cornerback one, opposite Chidobe. I mean, they have an elite secondary then. Elite, one of the best secondaries in the NFL with J.C. Jackson, Chidobe Awuzie, Mike Hilton, Jesse Bates, Von Bell. Elite, but. How do you fix the offensive line? Because I don't give a crap about the secondary if the offensive line isn't better. But if you can do both, I'm always a do both guy. So if you can find a way to do both and really fortify that offensive line, and it is doable, you're just not getting those big fish offensive line-wise. You're going to be going after, more of the middle tier to lower tier free agents, which, again, you can knock out of the park. I mean, Chidobe Awuzie wasn't a high-tier guy, and they found it. So I don't think they're going to go after J.C. Jackson like that. I think they'll go after the next Awuzie or Mike Hilton, where they're kind of under the radar free agents that could pay off at corner. Because I do think they're going to sign a free agent corner to start. But I wouldn't be mad at J.C. Jackson. You need to solve the offensive line as well. Rapid fire. Look at everybody saying J.C. Jackson.
I feel like Jen might have said the same thing earlier. But
Jen, should we do these weekly?
Weekly. You're going to come over here weekly?
Every 2 weeks in the offseason? I mean, I could.
Yeah, you could.
I don't know about for 2 hours, but, an hour. Especially if he's bringing McDonald's and bourbon. What do you think?
By the way, Brandon Sewell cleared it up for us.
There you go, Brandon.
Okay,
appreciate you, bro.
Brandon. We appreciate it, yeah. We're just having fun here. All right.
Could you imagine? Hey, Brandon, were you Team Chase? It'd be hilarious. Brandon Sewell, Team Chase.
That would be good. We talked about O-line a bit. Let's see. How about...
Don't we say they save off the top of my head.
Where are you at?
It's $5 million in dead cap money with Waynes. I think
here.
he's making 14, so I think they save like 9 or 10 million against the cap, roughly off the top of my head. I could look it up real quick, but yeah, that's what I think.
You got a
So
couple of people chiming in on that too. 11 million.
yeah, so that sounds about right. I'll check to make sure, but yeah, it's something in that range.
Iron Man, you are an enabler. I love it, but at the same time, it needs to stop. No, thank you. We will keep pouring. Well after this stream, I'm sure. Let's see here.
Yeah, so there's $5 million in dead cap and a cap savings of almost 11 million, 10.8 million for Waynes. God,
are there any second-tier offensive linemen on your radar?
Yeah, I mean, so there was the report earlier today from Aaron Wilson about Bradley Bozeman from the Ravens, the starting center. And so him, Andrew Norwell, big pass blocking offensive lineman, interior offensive lineman. Like, I'm not against that. They might not be great in the run game, but they're okay, and they're great at pass blocking, keeping number 9 upright. So those are two guys I would certainly keep an eye on. I mean, and there are times, the guy from the Rams that I covered from
what?
Rams guard. What's his name? I just forgot his name. Oh, Corbett. Austin Corbett. Yeah. I covered him in Cleveland, and then he got traded. Sorry, his name slipped my mind. Like, he's another one. Like, he's not at the top. James Daniels is going to be a popular one that the Bengals could have drafted instead of Billy Price, but they didn't like his size. And so then they reached on a guy that had arms as long as mine, and I'm 5'9", and you can't be 5'9" in a center in the NFL, so I don't know what the hell they were thinking in the first round. Anyways, let's keep it going.
We've talked about him off and on all year. It came up a lot early on, so I feel like we just address it.
I think he'll be on the practice squad. Again, he'll fight for a roster spot. There's a chance, he fights for that third tight end spot, depending. But if they went out and signed Gronk plus Uzama, Sample's probably going to be that third tight end, because he can block and he can do special teams, and he's just that type of guy. So it's tough. But, yeah, I think Thad Moss will be around for the offseason and in training camp.
I threw it up as you were mentioning Gronk. We talked about Gronk earlier, but yeah, sure.
Yeah, Rodney, do it. I'm down for it. When you sign him, you can't sign him to replace Uzama and expect Gronk to be a 17-game tight end. It's got to be, really, to me, it's like goal line, seam routes, or red zone, seam routes, playoffs for Gronk. You're paying him to come up big at M&T Bank Stadium with the game on the line against the Ravens, and paying him to handle business in January and February if you make it that far. And so if you can do that with Uzama, a combination of those two is one of the best tight end rooms in the league, no doubt.
I'm going to throw this one up here because
a lot of Gronks.
Ori's going he's circumventing because we don't have super chat or anything like that.
The Chiefs. The Chiefs game.
Oh, okay.
The Chiefs game is what made me realize they could do it. I still had my doubts. There were questions then. If they lose to the Chiefs, do they go to Cleveland and lose? Because the Browns, if they had won that week, could have snuck in and won the division. And so that was the game. And, they recovered from 3 14-point deficits, which is so damn hard to do against Kansas City. So that was the one where, for me, I was like, damn. And that's why every prediction, every statement, I don't say anything that I don't buy at that moment. And so at that moment, I'm like, man, this team is legit. They're going to beat the Raiders. And then I looked at the matchup against the Titans, and I thought they were going to win every playoff round. I picked them all 4 playoff rounds. I thought they were going to win each game. And I wasn't, those that have followed this channel and watched all year, I was not that confident. It changed with the Chiefs game, what they were able to do, given the circumstances, given the pressure. And so, yeah, that's the game that changed it. What about you? I was at that game too, Ori. What about you? Were you at that game?
No, I wasn't at the game.
You were in the basement. No. He was in the basement.
Yeah, I was just waiting for you to send me videos.
He was eating a Lunchable.
Right. That would have been pretty deluxe.
That's the only lunch that Cincinnati Bengals Talk provides on game day.
Yeah, no, the Cincinnati Bengals Talk channel meal is usually salami, roll-ups with pita chips, so I can just not have to think, and I can stare at your face for 2 hours and make a video. We've got I wanted to. We never talked about Mixon this entire time. I feel like we should bring him up real quick.
It's fine. Give him the ball. I don't know why he wouldn't have been in. And that's one of those things that knows he knows it. He's got to be kicking himself. It's you don't pay a running back like Joe Mixon to take him out on third downs all the time or in 2-minute drill. What the hell are we talking about? So, yeah, that 3rd and 1, it should have been him. The 4th and 1 should have been him. Because, like, on the 3rd and 1, maybe he cuts it back the other way and says, screw it, I'm going rogue and getting 4 yards. And I'm going to just put my helmet through whoever's there. And I'm going to, because he can do that. He's different. The first time I saw Joe Mixon, after they drafted him, and it was I'm in the locker room, and obviously it was a controversial pick. I'm like, oh, that dude, he's a freak. Like, you can just tell. And so, yeah, I mean, I want to see him play in front of a better offensive line. I also want him in the game in those moments, and they have to figure that out. Whatever that is, whatever the lack of trust was or the reason Perine was in there, they need to make sure Mixon is in those situations because, and if not Evan, you need a dynamic playmaker. And I just don't think Perine is that. I think he's a good player, and he's a good special teamer, and he'll get the yards that are there. He's not going to get you bonus yards. And in that moment, when you're getting your ass kicked in the trenches, you need a running back that's going to get you a bonus 2 yards on 3rd and 1. And Perine didn't do it.
Were you at any? Did you witness any tailgate parties at the Super Bowl?
No. So you can't. So Jen, the tailgates are weird. So at the Super Bowl, it's not even really a tailgate. They're like,
oh yeah,
they're
the
like
location.
And because of the security around it, so it's not like you can just drive up to the Super Bowl. They do have tailgate parties, but it's like a concert with the Chainsmokers, and so yeah, I was like at it, and I walked by some of the tailgate stuff, but it's not your traditional tailgate. But Bengal Jim had a huge tailgate the night before, which was a lot of fun, and I was at that, and it was really cool. It's just hard with the Super Bowl to have like a traditional tailgate, but yeah, but before the game, not really, but I walked by a few, and it looked like people were having a good time.
James called me on the phone a few times leaving the downtown area by the Super Bowl, right? Like, what was, like, you... Oh, that was after Radio Row.
Yeah, Radio Row. Yeah, so, I was leaving... Yeah, downtown's different than SoFi. Yeah. I was leaving downtown Los Angeles in the convention center, and I had like a mile walk, so I figured I'd talk to Andrew. I call him on my way home.
Which is crazy, because if something would have gone down, like, what am I supposed to do? Like, why would
That's not why I called.
Subconsciously.
Oh, my God. Yeah, for protection. This guy.
We talked about Trae Waynes, but
no.
Is that even possible?
0.
Okay. That's rapid fire. That's rapid fire.
No. No. Here's why, though.
Go on.
The Super Bowl, Cheeto gets hurt, and Trae Waynes doesn't come in. Think about that.
No.
It's Trey Flowers. It was a different Trae. It wasn't just a different corner. It was a different Trae. So, no, he's out. It's over.
TB, salami, Philadelphia, cream cheese in the middle is great. Yeah, actually, any cream cheese, if we all experience what I experienced in the month of January, which was I had to go to like Dollar General to find cream cheese. It was impossible.
Why?
You were busy in LA living your life.
January?
It was very hard to find cream cheese.
Not in January.
Well, actually in February too. But January, no, it was tough. Yeah.
No, I don't buy cream cheese.
Okay,
I like salami, though.
Let's see.
Is that a thing? Cream cheese shortage?
Yes. It was in October. It is now, or it was.
TB, I'm not allowed to get autographs now. Why no screens versus the Rams from Brian? Yeah, Brian, I don't know what... We'll get to that. Leave it up. Brian, I don't know why there weren't screens. Like, that's one of the things that's like, holy crap. You have Chris Evans, who's a damn receiver, and essentially, in Joe Mixon. Give him a couple screens, and the Rams had been beaten by screens, so I don't know. I don't know where the hell that was. All right, this is the one.
What kind
James,
of we talked about it?
Who's your NFL team? Yeah, come on, man. I'm from Cincinnati. Yeah, we already talked about it. I rooted for the Bengals growing up. I don't have an NFL team because I cover the NFL now.
I'm going to throw this up because I've wondered this too. Not that you would, but I've wondered.
You missed me. Oh, no, I can't. You
can't get autographs.
There's a chance, like in a traditional non-COVID world, where like if we were doing a meetup or something, or like a giveaway for a charity or something, maybe I would go that route. But like for me or like a family member or something, no, that is not. I wouldn't even ask. That's That's just not part of the job description and not what I want that to be.
Where did you get that shirt at, my baby?
They're talking about you.
No, they're talking about you.
Yeah, Rivertown
Hey,
Inquiry, man. This is the custom locked on shirt.
I got a Bengals shirt on here, but that's just standard.
Yeah. He Andrew couldn't afford it with the Cincinnati Bengals talk.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. RivertownInquiry.com. They're there right now. You can check them out.
Oh, thanks, Andrew. Let's see.
I think it's just an okay name. It's like Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
The Andy
James,
Dalton.
Jimmy.
The Andy Dalton of names.
Let's see what else.
Which is average. It's all right, Andrew. It's okay. It's my guy. I know him on Twitter for sure.
I'm avoiding these, but there's some good ones.
Yeah, avoid all of those. Jesus.
Let's see. Yeah, we'll throw that out there. Why not?
Yeah, TB. RivertownInquiry.com. All right, last call for questions. We're doing 5 more minutes right now. 5 minutes. Tops. Andrew's tapping out, man. He doesn't know he's about to have to cook me food after this.
If you follow Joe Goodberry on Twitter, he's got his Redbubble link that you can go on to get some of his merch. Listen, we've heard James big timing himself for the last 2 hours. This is my moment to do exactly that. And it will be rapid fire. I hung out and also was DD for James prior to the Jacksonville game. And I was talking to Joe and I said, hey, look, we would follow each other on Twitter for a long time. I was like, I want to buy a hat off of you. Like, I was ready. I wanted to buy. He didn't have any. He was giving them to Rivertown Inquiry. Mm-hmm. So I got to give it to Rivertown. They're expecting X amount. I can't do it. I was like, I will buy it. And he didn't have any. And then he was awesome because we had a good conversation. And he just sent me one. And I've worn it ever since to support that. He's a great guy. Love what he does. So there you go.
Guess how we got Andrew's address. That's how I big time you.
Yeah, where we left off. We just pick right back up where we left off with James. Have you ever played Madden? We're about to, Ori. I literally my Xbox is right here. I will play Madden. I will take on James. I've got another controller. It will happen.
He's gonna play with AA Ron because he's a loser.
Don't get started on that.
Loser. He's gonna do a 12.
Iron Man's been here since the beginning, so I can't criticize that comment.
Nah, Iron Man, we're good, bro.
You were living your best life in LA. I saw it a lot.
Yeah, you're right, John.
Yeah, I know. Everyone's just trying to shush. They don't want us to keep going. Right, exactly. What do you think of this? You want to do that?
Sure, go.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Do you trade up to secure a day one starter if Cross or Linderbaum falls? All right, so Nolan. To me, Linderbaum, yeah, like if you could, if that's the need, how far are you trading up? All right, are you giving up future second? I don't think they're giving up pick 60, what would it be? 62, 64, whatever it is. In the second round, I don't think they're doing that this year. But if you can give up a future second or to move up 8 spots, let's say, or maybe you're giving up a third or a fourth just to move up a couple spots and getting him. If that's still a need, yes, because this isn't like Billy Price or I was talking to Mike Renner on Locked On Bengals the other day. It's not Billy Price. It's not Frank Ragnow. He's like on another level. And so Billy Price obviously was the settle pick. The Bengals wanted Frank Ragnow in the 2018 draft. And he ultimately has been really good for Detroit, right? So they would have gotten it right. To me, if you think this guy's better and he's there at 26 or 20 and you can move up, you probably do if it's a need. If it's not, then you might let it play out, if they've just been really aggressive in free agency, but certainly open to that if it's there. Odds are, though, he'll be gone. I think they take non-offensive line. I think it'd probably be an edge rusher or a defensive lineman, maybe a safety. Like, there are a couple options at 31, and we'll dive into that as we get closer to the draft. We'll focus more on free agency in the next couple of weeks.
I'm going to do this quickly. I'm going to show you how rapid fire. 1, PlayStation for life. I understand. I had both, a PS4 and an Xbox One. The issue is it's very hard to find either, and I took the first one I could find. So here we are.
I have a
with the
PS5.
Series X.
I have a PS5 just in the box.
Right.
I have no time to play.
Brian Fontana. Brian is Brian from Twitter. I think he likes a lot of the stuff that we post.
Yeah.
Live streaming. We've done a lot of that tonight. Play as Bengals. One of us will, I'm sure, and it probably. Actually, I don't know. Probably not.
What year Madden do you have? Because I'm not playing against as the 2018 Bengals. Oh, you have the. Oh, okay.
Or 20. Yeah, 22. Let's see here. We talked about
1 minute.
Okay. All right. Oh, now you're gonna go rapid fire.
1 minute.
All right. Actually, I've been wondering this. Who will be on the cover next year? I know that's not the question, but I've been thinking about that. Would it be Bengals really, or are we going to go Rams because of winning?
If Odell didn't get hurt, I think it might have been like Cup and Odell.
Cup I could see.
Cup's, yeah, he's not a big enough star, though.
I don't know that Stafford will do it.
Stafford won't, like, Rodgers.
Yeah.
Rodgers with his crappy haircut. I have awful hair, but Rodgers has worse hair than me right now. All right, one more, and then we're out of here.
One more, last one. I'm throwing this up as I look for the question because we appreciate that.
Yeah, man, Jack, you're the man. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody that's watched this.
TBA, I don't have a PS5. We address it. I'm just clicking as I look.
The best Built Bar is probably either coconut brownie chunk or peanut butter crisp. But the mint brownie is really good too. Coconut almond, if you like Almond Joys, is really good. I love Built Bars, so there's a lot of good ones.
I saw this earlier. John Madden on the cover, it only makes sense. That kind of does.
Well, yeah, that'll be who it is. Yeah,
sure.
That'll be who it is. Next year, it'll be Joe Burrow.
Come on. I appreciate it. I'm going to keep going with these comments that are great. But,
Rodgers and the pristine mullet. He wishes. Yeah, he is a damn diva. I rip Rodgers. I filled in for Mo on ESPN 1530 earlier this week, and I rip Rodgers. Who would you guys rather have, Joe Burrow or Aaron Rodgers this season for 1 year? Me, I don't want to deal with the drama. I want Joe Burrow. I don't want drama. I want a quarterback that's all in on football. So, pretty simple. Anyways.
All right, let's end with this.
One. What's a realistic expectation in terms of the Bengals' performance next year? How far should they make it?
I like the minimum aspect.
No, the minimum to me, assuming they do what my expectation is, which is fix the offensive line and get it to a competent state, right? Add another edge rusher, fill these holes, because they don't have a ton of holes compared to recent years. If they do that, the minimum is playoffs and feeling good about their chances in the playoffs because of the quarterback and the weapons he has, right? Because it's all about that in the playoffs. And then their ability to get after the passer. And if they add another edge rusher plus Ossai, and comes back with Hendrickson and Hubbard, you feel good about that. So I would say the minimum expectation is playoffs with the chance to make a run again. And that's how it should be with Burrow and this core. It should always feel that way. Anything less than that is a huge failure. Like it's a minimum standard now is making a playoff run. Burrow said it after the Raiders game, and so that's what it is. And we'll see if they can hold that up. So look at Jen, man. Stopped watching TV for this. You're the best. I hope it delivered. That's the thing. I hope it delivered for you. What do you think? You think it delivered? I don't know, but I hope it did. Sign off. And then I'm gonna.
My wife's upstairs. I don't know that she ever stopped watching TV for this.
Yeah, probably not. Even though she did comment.
She did comment and asked for a beer, which is weird. Usually seltzer or something.
I told you to sign off. What are we doing right now?
I'm signing us off?
For you?
For me.
Yeah, so okay. Say bye to everybody.
Hey, listen.
I'll sign off.
Obviously, first time I've ever been on a live stream. Second time I guess I've been on a video. Second? Right? Did a Mike Daniels interview a while ago.
Yeah, he did. A while.
It feels forever, doesn't it? Okay. Anyway.
So Mike Daniels was on the active roster.
I appreciate everyone that's shown up and made there's been a lot of comments. This has been awesome. And I'm sure I know we'll do this again. I don't know how often or when it will happen again.
Same time tomorrow?
Yeah, we got nothing but time this weekend, especially. My kids will have to be on the video if that happens. But I just want to say from a channel perspective, thank you for everything. I read the comments. I see what gets liked. I see what does well. I see what doesn't do as well as I would like. I appreciate all of it. It helps me understand what you all want. All I do, I said it earlier, and for those that have just joined, anything with this channel I make as a fan of the Bengals, what would I want to see? As a fan of, really any video content, anything creative, I make it hoping that it will entertain me. So the fact that it's entertained you means a lot to me. And obviously I couldn't do it without this guy right here. So thank you so much. It's been a great year. So that's it.
TB called Andrew a clown. He wasn't talking to me. He said, you guys. He must have been talking about all the Andrews out there. So TB thinks you're a clown. I'm just letting you know. Definitely wasn't me.
I'll throw it up because you're talking about
anyways, no. I've said it all year long. Bengals fans are the best. And you guys are always going to be the best. Men, women, children. I love it, man. I took pictures with kids in Los Angeles where their dads were like, hey, man, you got to get a picture with, and I forget names, but that's awesome. I love it. I hope it continues. I hope the Bengals deliver over the next few weeks. We're going to have a ton of coverage. That's why you should subscribe to this channel, because we're going to be at the Combine. We're going to be following free agency. We're going to monitor it all. I'm going to make him continue to edit a crap ton of videos. And so thank you for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, for Andrew Fox Miller, I'm James Rapine signing off right here on our first ever live happy hour on Cincinnati.